Hey guys, how you all doing? Welcome to the first stream of Draw with Mad. I'm here with HazyHours. How you doing, sir?
Good, great.
You mind introduce yourself and just kind of like a brief thing of what you do and what you like to make and stuff like that.
No, not gonna lie, I do pretty much a pretty similar thing as MadWorld does. I like doing anime girls in a pinup style, mostly around automotive things. Originally came from more of a photographer's point of view. Did car photography, portrait photography for years, but decided I wanted to do the anime girl thing, and been pursuing that for the last few years. So, thank you for inviting me on here, and appreciate, especially for the first one of these things you're doing. So, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. I thought you're a perfect fit to start out this whole new series. You like automotive in anime, so do I. And it's like when we talk, like, on and off before stream when we meet up. And it's like we really get into the whole automotive culture, and the same thing with the anime. It's a lot of fun when you have somebody chat with that has similar things that you like to do, and it's like it makes it more interesting for sure.
Yeah. Especially when it's not just surface level things about automotive. There's some tism that gets into it, and I appreciate that a lot. And I think that's something you can't find all the time. So,
Oh yeah. If you don't mind, what you working on tonight? Check
just
your
working
audio.
on kind of like I was kind of want to do something more like a street moe. It's a little bit more of like a streetwear take on a race queen outfit on a Una VTuber. So
Awesome.
that's the goal right now, and kind of just working on a sketch, and hopefully I can get to line art tonight. So
Yeah, what I mentioned on stream too, since this whole thing is pretty new for all of us and everything. We don't have to do like line art, start do something into final details. It's like whatever you have working on, and you just want to hang out. You just hang out and just draw, and that's what the people like and everything. Just like to see people just draw, chat, and just have fun and chill. And I just think it's a lot of fun. Just kind of just be comfortable what you got, and try not to rush too hard to try to get a certain point within the end of the stream. Because like it's
yeah, which was we talked a bit about that before, but I appreciate doing that again.
definitely right. So the VTuber you're working on, did you say that you're the name of the VTuber?
Yeah,
Oh,
Una VTuber. She's Cultured Dreamers, Atasha's mascot, and that was cool because, as I said before, I work in the photography world, and cosplay and cars was something I worked in a lot. So that was they were a name I knew from before. So it was
gotcha.
kind of cool when one day I saw that they were having a VTuber, and yeah, thought that was cool. So especially nowadays, I honestly, as much as I like doing an anime art style, I honestly don't even watch that much anime in the sense of like series. The art styles kept me hooked, and VTubers have definitely been a good thing to keep myself in the type of media, and keeping myself, I guess, constantly with references is the best way I can say that.
Yeah, it, it's like I get into the whole like VTuber thing as well. It's a lot. There's something about doing VTuber art. It just pushes the boundaries of creativity for what I'm seeing. to me, it's like it really puts you on your feet on when you're trying to do the characters and try to follow the design much as you can, or when you're doing a different styling cues to the character and try to
Yeah.
follow it close as you can. It's like, I think the challenge doing a lot of like the VTuber fan arts is just, to me, it's like the thrill pretty much of the challenge. It's like same thing doing the anime pinups with the automotive.
Like I was saying before, I don't like doing the exact outfit. Like I'll take a lot of cues from their actual outfit. I like kind of making my own spin on it because I think that's kind of what I'm doing here today.
Oh, yeah.
It's trying to.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking really cool so far. It's liking the direction that you're doing with it as well.
Man, honestly, like seeing on stream right now with the two things on, it's funny seeing the how much more Ugga Dugga Photoshop looks in comparison to Clip Studio.
Yeah, it's like years ago when I started learning to use Clip Studio for the first time. It's like after transitioning from Photoshop to Clip Studio, it's like a whole new world. And it's like over the years they started to make the whole setup a little bit more user friendly in a way. Because I've been using Clip Studio since let's say since 2015, and since comparable to what it was then to now, it's just an overall difference.
Oh, fuck.
Man, I wish I gotta put your links up. So I got HazyHours links up as well for his social medias and his website. Discord, don't do that. Be nice. Discord keeps like flickering your screen, and it's like trying to get your links up. Is like, no, I don't want to do that.
I won't.
So, guys, from what I'm working on tonight, it's a new anime automotive piece that I've been planning on for a couple weeks now. So it's a an OC anime girl, something kind of more of the luxurious kind of look to her pinup styling, and I found this company that makes these 1962 Shelby Cobras. So I was going through the posts on Facebook under Meekum. They're like the second big automotive auction in the United States, like just under Barrett Jackson. So these guys, they only made 2 of these Cobras. It's hand forged copper body Shelby Cobras, and they only made 2 of these. I should have wrote the name of the shop down.
Is the girl you're drawing the theme of it? Are you planning on doing the dress kind of the same color, the copper?
No, it's like, what I got planned for her is I'm trying to get something that's kind of like that will work with the copper. So from what I've seen for like pictures and stuff like that, for like how like some women poses and posings for photos and stuff like that, especially wearing like jewelry and stuff like that. When I do see a lot of copper kind of stuff, I do see like hints of blue involving with the look of how she's dressed up and everything. So the dress is kind of like one of those. I can't really say it's a kimono at all, but it's in the Japanese kind of like culture kind of look to it. I can't really explain how it is, but it's very pin-up-y. So the dress is blue, the hair is kind of got like this platinum / blue hue to it, so it makes the character really pop. And it's like with the car itself, these guys they hand brush, they hand polish the body, so it's a literal mirror.
Tiny.
So like the colors with the blue where the car is like, showing the reflection of her sitting on the side of the vehicle. You can see the blue that's working really well with the copper color to it. So it's kind of like an experimental piece because this is something we're going towards like literally almost 100% copper of not copper but chrome of the vehicle. The only thing that's not really chrome is either the interior and the tires. I guess you could say the windows, but it still works under the same like system on how I make the artworks and everything. Polish, effects to it.
Yeah.
So this might not be like a 1 week project here. This is probably going to be like a 2 to 3 week long piece. And for my guessing, the whole the whole like polished copper, it's going to be a challenge for sure. And I choose pretty much one of the more difficult cars. Huh?
Like the reflections and stuff?
Yeah. It's same thing like, the lighting and everything. Because they try to go for like the so if you look up photos of like the Barrett Jackson auction spots and the
Oh, I've been there in person.
Oh, you did?
Weird.
That's awesome. I always want to go
Yeah,
to
I did
it.
a convention. I did a convention at Barrett Jackson, and the funny thing is like, it was kind of one of those moments as I was pulling up to the venue because it was in Arizona. I was pulling, and it was kind of one of those weird moments when like I did a double take as we like went by the main gate, and I was like, wait, we're at Barrett Jackson right now? I was like, I was so confused. I was like, wait, this venue's at Barrett Jackson? Like, we're doing an anime convention at the Barrett Jackson? Like, what?
That would be interesting, actually, to see something like that happen.
It was good for the Atasha car show setup because they just used the tents that were left over from the previous event that was going there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I always want to go to Barrett Jackson. I hope down the road I go to the one in Arizona because that's Arizona. That is their home place to do the auction, and
Yeah.
it's considered one of the biggest Barrett Jackson venues in the country.
We were my buddies were trying their hardest to try to get because they were kind of helping part with the setup of that event, and they were trying their hardest to allow because they have like a burnout pit like at Barrett Jackson. Like they let people do burnouts and stuff, and they were like they were trying to get a green light on a bunch of drift cars to come out to go do like a little drift show like in that section in the little burnout pit. But at the end, they got rejected, and I was like, "Oh, that'd be fucking sick!" Like,
oh yeah, it's like same thing going to like SEMA. Like I always wanted to go to SEMA for years.
So let me ask you, from being somebody who's from where you are, where your area that you're from, like, I know a lot of that American Muscle and those old school things are very more relevant than where I'm from, because I was talking to buddies on the West Coast, and it seems like SEMA is still like a big deal out there when it comes to like people who are about customization and stuff. But I think being from the opposite end of the country, a lot of us over here kind of make fun of SEMA a lot
really?
because a lot of us don't go to that event because the East Coast just doesn't, a lot of them don't travel out there. And a lot of us kind of view it as kind of like a big joke event now because it's like that classic, like, oh, you see big squat truck and you see builds with like riveted on fenders and such like that. And it's like one of those things where I think a lot of folks started having, at least over here, a lot of us were like, oh, SEMA is kind of not the same that it was like 20 years ago. But it seems like the sentiment over that with SEMA is still pretty strong every time I talk to folks on the West Coast, so I wasn't sure if it's similar to where you are from as well now.
It's kind of like that. I do come across a lot of people that do go to SEMA every year, especially on the more like the guys that's gotten more of the higher end kind of cars and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And it's like what we talked about like over time when we met. It's like before I got into the whole anime side of things, I was doing a lot of like the automotive artworks for auto shops. So they
Yeah.
got something for them for an idea what the vehicle's gonna look like when it's done. And
Yep.
and that small collaboration I did with the guy with the Black Ghost Challenger and RTR back in
Mhm.
2018. It's like we see like because we're not far from the the Detroit Autorama. Like we're probably maybe a couple hours away from Detroit.
Mhm.
So like we in the Toledo, Ohio area, the automotive side of things are like very strong because like we got the whole thing with the Jeep plant, which Jeep
Oh, true. Yep.
they do like a very big thing over there called the Jeep Fest, and it literally took literally almost the entire like Toledo, Ohio city for this
Huh.
event. It's almost big as Detroit Autorama, but it's just all Jeeps. I've never been able to go to that show. I always miss it every year because their schedule is a little weird. But it looks really cool for what I've seen on social media to the people that I met. Like in our area, like we are very strong when it comes to uh, classic American cars. But
Yeah, that's why I said it, what I said is because I know you guys are way more about that than where I'm from. Because where I'm from, Euro and JD, the Euro and yeah, Euro and JD Elm are like the more. It's a lot more common than seeing a lot of muscle stuff.
yeah,
So that's also to do with the demographic of folks who are around here. So I've always something I will say that as much as I love about social media with car culture and being able to like just see so much stuff from across the world, I will say that I think a lot of social media, or I mean social media with car stuff, has kind of gotten rid of a lot of those very regional identities that
yeah,
used to exist a lot more. With certain car cultures, like certain modifications that you would see, like things that were literally specific to a certain like state or a certain like in like um, like a tri-state area thing, like if it's Jersey. Social media has broken a lot of those, and I think it's a shame because a lot of those are very special things that have a lot of flair to them. You know.
yeah. It's like over the years, like when social media started changing, the whole demographic when it comes to the automotive culture started kind of shifting more. It's it's not what it used to be for sure. Because like I used to like to go to social media and go to like especially Facebook with all the groups and everything. Like I
Hmm.
used to love going to like the automotive groups on Facebook, but things were just not like I don't know. It's not like what it used to be. It's a lot of like very. Oh, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's
Hmm.
like it's not very engaging like what it used to be. More like advertising, more anything, or you know, typical like memes and stuff like that on social media for
Hmm.
what I've seen on my end.
Yeah.
Because like if we're talking about like 2018 to 2019, it's a little bit more different what we have now.
Yeah.
Looks like you got getting
I,
the hair started.
what happened? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I'm just taking breaks because I'm taking just getting the bearing.
Yeah, no biggie. Because
Then I
like,
gotta get the hair done, then I can do the hands, and then yeah, I think for sure I should be able to get the my line art in, which I'll be happy, even though yeah, this is a fan art piece. That's all. I think I was telling you I've been trying to just bang out as many artworks as I can before I make a decision on what I want to do for the Atasha on the side of my car. So that's kind of the goal, is just get as much stuff out in the next like month or two, and then make a decision from those things.
oh
What
yeah,
idea I want to. The other sketch I was supposed to be working on was going to be what I think I was going to go towards, because it's you know the VTuber Nimi Nightmare. It's the tapir.
I don't know if I've
Used to be
seen that
Fauna
one yet.
Fairies. Fairies Fauna.
No, I haven't come across that one yet.
Well, one of the things that she does is that she has a pipe, like a smoking pipe, and I was like thinking it'd be cool to have like a kind of a hazy smoke kind of effect on the background and use her character. So that's, I think it would work well for the branding and stuff. And obviously, I actually do like her a lot. So I have a plushie of her above me right now.
Oh, nice. It's like it's hard to keep up with the whole thing with the VTubers because there's just so many of them out there. And it's like anytime,
It's like
especially.
talking...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, you go. You go.
It's like mainly on X. It's like say every time I open X, there's always some kind of new VTuber that pops up on my timeline.
I feel like X is more than the other social medias. Instagram doesn't have as many VTubers on it, I noticed.
Yeah, it's rare when I find someone new on there. It seems like when it comes to X, it's like it's their more known place to meet and
yeah,
post and everything. And it's like, you know what, X is a little bit more on the lenient side when it comes to more adult-oriented stuff too, so it's kind of like that as well. And it's like I'm seeing something like that going on with a newer platform called Blue Sky as well. I don't know. Huh?
I said, yeah. I know about that Blue Sky.
Yeah, you ever heard of a hentai company called Zone Archive?
No.
No, they're like the original like American like hentai organization back in like the early 2000s. And they have like a whole, it's like a whole on like thing on YouTube for a while, on like, we're talking about the early days of YouTube. And they do like a little news kind of show, inviting some artists at the time that do a lot of like flash animations and stuff like that. So it's like they're like the really big draw when it comes to that kind of stuff back then. And on Blue Sky, I did like a fan art of a character named Zotan. It's their their original like mascot. So I did like a kind of like a pin-up thing because I've been planning on drawing that character for quite a few years, because I did recommend that several times on streams in the past. So the Zone Archive found out about the picture, about the stream, and now they're following me on social media, reacting on posts and stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome, dude.
Yeah, thank you. And now they're getting into the whole VTube thing now too.
I think it's interesting that just kind of like how the VTuber I'm drawing right now originally came from a company who wasn't specifically like a VTuber agency, but they were like, well, we kind of want something. Actually, there's a few brands I've noticed have done that. Even brands in the world that I originally started in, which was like the anime merch world, such like that. That a few brands that I've seen, I don't say a few, it's like one major one, which is Araculture, had Aruna Reaver, I think that's her name.
Okay.
That was interesting.
It's kind of like...
They're OCs originally, and then became a VTuber, which I thought was cool.
Oh, cool. Like I'm getting into the whole thing on the VTubing side. It's like it's a very big thing. It's like it's worth to if you're gonna get into the streaming side of things. I think you could do this stuff on YouTube too. You don't really have to stream. But either way, it's like if there's like a big bandwagon that's going on, sometimes it's kind of worth experiment and try it out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I mentioned earlier on. It's like the model that I got right now. It's only temporary. Working on the actual 2D model that I'm working on. My 2D is like it's a very hard software to work with. It's nothing compared to like a normal like animation software. It's like a totally different beast. And understanding why that they charge so much to rig those models, I really understand it now. Okay, what's going on there, Kick? Oops. Discord. Yeah. Hopefully I can figure out what's making Discord do that every now and then.
Do what? No.
So when I go to like, check out the streams on Twitch and Kick, because the only way I was able to get your screen share is do like a pop-up of your screen share on Discord. And have to use like what's called window capture. So this captures whatever like window you have up, you just select it. For a lot of the softwares that I have here, you can minimize your screen. You can minimize your window and it will not affect it. But for some reason, when it comes to that pop-up with Discord, it doesn't want to do that. Anytime I go check out on Kick, which every now and then I have to reload Kick every now and then, because sometimes it doesn't show the viewer counts very well. Sometimes it kind of bugs out. But it's like anytime I do, it's when I just did just now, it is like when the pop-up is when the window is over that pop-up, it goes black. So I have to like check it really quickly and get your screen back out. But this is a learning experience for the both of us for sure.
Good.
That's what happens when you get into babysitting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what gave you the idea for doing this VTuber fan art? What inspired you to do it?
Like I said, I genuinely do like streamer a lot. I find that, it's interesting. The last anime convention I went to had a lot of HoloLive like fan art like everywhere. A few indies, but definitely I noticed that there's still a lot of people that, and there was actually a few that were very more niche that I found, and those were the people I really struck up conversations with, and I realized that, I don't always trace trends when it comes to the most popular characters. I just really like doing what I think is appropriate or what I think I like, and it's bit me in the butt for money sometimes, in the sense of if you're doing this as a job, sometimes you do have to think about that. But I think in the end, the hard part, and the way I look at it too, is I'll be straight up with you. I'll just say now, like, art's not my main job, so it doesn't matter if I make a shit ton of money from it or not. I have the other things in my life, so I find that maybe I just want to keep working on the niche things and hoping that some of these more niche things and pays off more for the smaller community. So.
Oh yeah, it's like a lot of people don't realize on my end. It's like, yeah, I do a lot of the artworks and the streaming, but it's not gonna be like my sole thing to be doing as like a job. It's not a very easy thing to do. It's a very hard when you're a small streamer. You're like literally climbing on a steep hill when it comes to Twitch and Kick, and it's like Twitch they have like different like requirements for you to try to start making income out of the streaming. And it's like over the years when more and more people start doing it, then they start changing the whole requirements more and more. So it started becoming harder and harder almost every year. And I used to do a lot of streaming on Twitch and found out about Kick and tried out Kick as well. Yeah, it's like Kick is a nice platform for streaming, and I'm not saying like Twitch is not, but it's nice to be on two different platforms because things hit differently on multiple platforms. It's like just like social media. And it's always a good idea to have that option open, but it down the road would just say I meet the requirements with Twitch. Then I start making income out of the streaming. The income limit would be much lower for me because I'm streaming on Kick as well. Now, if I stream 100% on Twitch, then it would be a lot higher because they're trying to keep their creators in one spot, that the ones that try to get into their affiliate program. So like I'm not 100% sold on returning to Twitch. Quite honestly, I really like Kick a lot more. I think it's just a lot more friendly when it comes to smaller streamers versus like Twitch, YouTube. But you don't know what's going to happen unless you try it. And just, the roll the dice. And it's like, try out doing these platforms. If that doesn't go well for you, that is like, that sucks, but you just got to keep trucking along, find somewhere else to go, just keep trying new things when it comes to streaming and different platforms. Because like I started out on Twitch back in 2019 and started on Kick about maybe 3 years ago now. And I thought it was pretty cool that it's your first stream as well.
Yeah, ever. Yeah, like literally ever.
And that's like the whole idea. And that's like the whole idea of doing this. It's like I seen other like content creators on YouTube in the past that used to do stuff like similar like this, kind of like a podcast / art session kind of thing. I highly recommend check out this YouTube channel. I like listen to them when I work, especially. Look up on YouTube called Proko, Proko. And it's a full like art channel, and they invite famous artists. So like a famous animator for Disney, Aaron Blaise, for instance. They have really cool things that both of them do on like their kind of like little shows to podcasts and stuff like that. And they invite different kind of artists. It doesn't have to be just anime artists. It could be comic book artists or animators. It's like it's fun to bring in artists that you come across on social media, and the idea of bringing them on stream, chatting with them. It's a fun little like idea, and pretty much this is like the experiment of tonight.
Okay, I'm with that.
So it's like I've seen like the kind of stuff that I see your stuff, and I know you're in the same ballpark as I am in the market. And it's like
Yeah.
this guy's gonna be a great choice to get things started. So it just makes things a little
Yeah,
bit
and
easier to
not just that,
manage.
the time period before that we've spent just hanging out, it's like, oh, kind of realize it's more of like, oh, it's not just like, oh, we match. It's like, oh, we actually do get along with each other, and outside of just like a streaming on stream for art and stuff, it's like,
Yeah,
oh, yeah, it's rare for me to be able. I'll be straight with you. It's just rare. There's references that you bring up, and I know that I have to ask you just because and make sure that's what you're talking about and that specific thing, because I feel like most people I would talk to wouldn't have no idea what I'm talking about if I was in your position. Is
yeah,
the best way I can put it.
yeah. And that's always been like the tricky part when it comes to doing these streams, and especially doing like when it comes to automotive side things, classic vehicles, and the piece like I'm working on right now. And it's like people will not know it, but it's like when you
Or they'll be
talk.
like, "Oh, it's a Shelby, right? Super cool." And then that's why when we talked about it, sorry to cut you off. I was like,
Oh, you're fine.
"Well, where did this one come from?" Because that's where I was more interested. Not that it was quote unquote a Shelby. I was more interested. I'm like, well, these things are all different. So like, what's the story behind this? Is the way I looked at it.
Matter of fact, but since we're kind of talking on that subject real quickly, I'll bring up their Instagram name so I can be able to bring up their name properly. Because if you get a chance to check out their Instagram page, the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that they do is so wild. They don't just do Shelby Cobras, or they done Shelby Daytonas too.
Oh, for
But
real? Damn, Daytona is not a small car.
no, and it's not a easy car to work on from what I heard.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like it's not just copper that they work on like making the bodies. They do aluminum as well,
Okay.
and they're known for doing like
And
polished aluminum, polished copper.
and I think it's cool because back in the day, like we might take it for granted, but like a full aluminum body back in the day was way lighter than a steel body.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
it made a big difference to have a chassis like that.
and
And that's
especially like
like,
now,
yeah,
and especially like now that it's a lot easier to work with aluminum now.
yeah,
And it's like compared for back in the day, these guys a lot of times they had to experiment a lot.
yeah.
It's wild how things progress in the automotive market. And so like these guys they work on, regular classic cars. So they did, I think it was like a early 40s Ford, and it's brought, I think it was like polished copper body. And it's like, I
Mm-hmm,
mean, think about it, these guys are like hand forging these panels.
mm-hmm.
They're doing the same techniques like they did back in the early 60s when they're building the Daytonas. If you look at some reference images online,
Mm-hmm.
um they do a lot of like almost like wood panels in a way. I'm not really sure that's how you really call those things, but it helps, forging the body panels and stuff like that to make the car. So they're still using old methods to make these bodies. Because like some of these methods like for making body panels for these cars, it still works to this day.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like nowadays where people are talking about a lot with carbon fiber and everything, things are much different what they are.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a company in California that makes um body shells out of carbon fiber of like 65 to 69 Ford Mustangs. And they're
Sorry, I
like,
got off topic.
yeah,
Watching myself on the stream, something I noticed is like I didn't realize until like watching it from with a delay. I was like, how ADHD sometimes my sketching can be, because I zoom in and out literally every other second.
Oh yeah, I do the same too. It's one of those kind of things that you just can't really ignore. It's just easier to draw in a bigger view.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's like the last two streams I've been doing with the For Chirino piece. It's when you haven't done a lot of like traditional art for so long, the way you draw end up changing over time. Especially I've been stuck with digital for the longest time. When you're trying to do small details, I want to zoom in to look at it closer, or either get close to the paper, or if I get drunk enough, I start moving my fingers like open and close like a touch screen. It's like I'm so used to it with the iPad.
I'm having a lot of trouble right now trying to draw these sunglasses because they're like a very odd shape.
So not like classic, yeah, I forget what they call them, aviators?
No, it's more closer to like a pit viper style.
Pit viper
like
style.
Shades.
I have to look at that. Here soon, I need to get myself some new sunglasses. I'm overdue for one.
I've had the same set of sunglasses for the last like 10 years. I remember balling out out of Ray-Bans thinking I was so cool. And then it's lasted me though, so.
I always a big fan of Ozzy Osbourne. For years. So I always loved those round sunglasses. Yeah. But finding those frames affordable, it's hard to get.
Hard, yeah.
And especially like a place that would cut that shape to make it into sunglasses. Sometimes you have to pay like a couple $100 just to get them cut like that.
You would think it's not like that complicated of a shape, but
yeah. You would think it's really weird. So like I'm trying to find companies that would use a prescription thing for your lens and everything, because these are prescription lens sunglasses I'm trying to go for.
Okay.
So it's a little difficult. So I'm trying to find companies online that would do that shape for prescription. And a lot of them don't even do that for that style of frames. It's like, it's not a very popular thing either. It's not something you see a lot of people wear. It's like, I'm the guy that's freaking Black Sabbath, Ozzy Osbourne, the Bats.
Yeah.
And it's like, I always liked that look. I had it for about 10 years as well, since high school.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's like I stuck with the frames. I just never got off my lazy butt to go to get some new lens years ago. I just got new ones literally last year. And it took me a while just to like, oh shit, I need to make an appointment. Which I gotta have to do another one here soon. Because I'm not happy with these frames that I got. Something about the paint they use on these plastic frames are like more of a more modern kind of look.
Yeah.
And something about the paint, when you sweat, like around your eyebrows and kind of like on the topper part of the frames, the paint don't hold up with that literally at all.
Oh really?
It's literally like chipping off the paint.
Bueno.
Yeah, it's like, nah. So sometime this week I'm trying to get myself a new appointment and see what else I can find for new frames. I think you're supposed to get like new glasses every 2 years if I remember right.
Really?
Man, most people I know don't get new glasses for every like fucking 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, it's like I don't see doing that at all. It's like, but it's like with these the way the frames are acting right now, because like I go a lot of I go a lot of shows, especially outside ones. So you're setting up canopies and in the sun. So like it once it starts sweating, that paint kind of like peels a little bit.
Yeah.
I they're not high dollar frames. They're something kind of affordable, so it's kind of understandable at some degree. But it's kind of one of those things you just might as well spend the extra money and get something more higher end, better builds.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I still got the XP Pen graphics tablet I'm still paying on, so after that, probably get some better frames and sunglasses. Can I see your pop up at least? Cool. So it looks like you're getting pretty much a foundation going on with the hair, and you're getting started with the
Yeah, no, the
sunglasses.
hair. I just need to do the fucking the accessories, and the glasses are part of it, but it's not like a round. It's like a trapezoid shape. It's really weird. So I'm trying to see if I want to either try drawing it outside and dragging it in, or
Is it kind of like an oval shape or something like that? I'm not sure about
no.
those frame. I'm not sure about those style frames. Okay, there's the cobras. All right, kind of going like back to like what we're talking about the cobras earlier. I got the name up and everything. If you guys check out a company named Kirkham Motorsports, they're the ones that do like the hand forged copper bodies and the aluminum body vehicles. Yeah, that is an old early 40s Ford. Oh wow, I didn't see that before.
Wow.
I was gonna try to see if I could bring it up on stream, but I can't. Probably can. It's a little weird, but so on the Cobra, the thing that really caught my eye, definitely, especially like trying to stick the traditional theme with the stripes and everything. They did like a matted like brush look as like the stripes, so it kind of like a matted look to it.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys, they try to go for the more like I guess you could say like 60s era customization era hot rodding, and the flames, they actually did flames on this thing, but just like I mentioned about the stripes on the Cobra, they actually did the flames in like a matted look on the copper. It's really
shit. Yeah, I'm
really
thinking about. I was
different.
like thinking about it in my head. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that would look pretty good. Cool.
Like I seen like small pictures of the vehicle. I didn't really quite look into it till now. But yeah, definitely check out Kirkham. It's like they got a lot of really cool stuff on Instagram. It seems like they're always doing something as well. pretty much right now I'm waiting for a automotive shop in Fort Wayne, Indiana. He's doing a kind of like a, I guess you can say like between the era, like the 2000s era and 2010s, like, you know how like custom cars were in Fast and Furious from the first movie to I guess 5.
Mm-hmm.
So he's doing like a custom Audi. It's one of the It's one of those like 2000s, I'm guessing. I had to see if I can find it again. But he named the whole thing called Stealth Customs on, or Stealth Builds, I should say, on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
So he's trying to go for that, like that wide body kit, big wing kind of thing. So going to the era of like Need for Speed idea to like the Fast and Furious era and customization.
I mean, that's very, what, 2000s you're talking about?
Pretty much. And doing like the more modern kind of stuff, some of like the styling cues for the wings. They got that splitter going down the middle of the back of the vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's getting it done, and he's got a lot done with the vehicle just recently. Because pretty much once he's done with that, I gotta be working on some works for him on some pinup stuff. And I guess some marketing stuff too as well. Anytime I get an update for the build, he's always doing something different because he's making the car, not the carbon fiber but the body kit all on his own. He has like a full on like shop in Fort Wayne, Indiana. They do like a lot of like custom cars, anywhere from like classic hot rods to Lamborghinis and stuff like that. And they get into like a lot of like fabrication. So they make like custom like bar stands out of like old World War II airplane wings and stuff like that. So they do a lot of stuff, and that's kind of like his side project. And I know me and you talked about your project car and everything. You want to talk a little bit on that on stream?
I fucking miss it.
Huh?
I want it back, dude. Sorry, I want it. Sorry, I didn't be emotional about that, but no. It's one of those things where it's like, it's been at the body shop for about a month longer than it's been expecting to, and it's like I'm getting that anxiety of like, I just want the car back, I pay insurance for this bitch, like I kinda want it back. Like I've pretty much have had that car gone in my life for the past like year and a half.
Oh wow.
From just on and off different shops and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of like at that point where like I just want to drive it. So
oh, I can understand
it's
that.
the yeah, and like I said, I miss having a hell yeah machine. Like I, as much as I like the M3, the M3 V8, I can't say I hate it because I love it. That V8 is like on its own level of like fun because it revs high. It honestly feels like two Honda S2000 engines put together.
Okay.
That's what it feels like because it revs high. It revs out because I have the tune on it and everything in the intake, so it revs out to 86.
Okay.
Which is just, but it has no torque.
Okay.
And that's what I miss about having like a proper LS car, especially when you have it in the Nissan body, so the 240 body. So it's like extremely light. You have independent suspension all around. But the more I look at third gen Camaros, the more and more I'm kind of happy the route that I went with the car, because originally I really did want to keep the car narrow body and keep it the original body style. But because of how much rust was on the body, I decided to chop it off and put over fenders on it.
Okay.
on the rear. The front is metal fenders. The rear I did over fenders just because I didn't want to go for the over fender look. I mean the flared fender look, because I didn't want to drop the car like 2 or 3 centimeters off the ground and stretch the tires. I'm going more for the American muscle look.
Okay.
So I'm really trying to make it kind of look like an old school Firebird is like my main goal, is why I kind of like winded it up so you can fit the 250, because I just want to really be able to fit, like, if I need to fit like 255s and even 265s all around, which I don't think I will. I'm probably just gonna keep 245s all around. I think I'll be pretty happy with 240. For the power, the car's not that powerful. The car's, I tuned it out at 320 horsepower, 320 torque on completely stock block. It's a completely stock engine except the headers. Yeah, it's not that fast, but it's really nice to cruise. I really enjoy it for that. So
That's the fun part about the whole thing is cruising, hanging out,
it's
especially.
the most fuel economical car I have, dude. Like, it has better fuel economy than my Corolla.
Oh, no kid.
It doesn't make sense, right? You would think,
Yeah.
how could 1.8 4-cylinder be beat by 5.7 liter V8 in fuel economy? But it's simply the car's light, and you put that into 6th gear, you can drive at like 800 RPM, still have torque, and drive around town.
Yeah.
So it just doesn't burn gas that much. I get like about 30 mpg, 35 mpg out of the V8 if I try really hard. But let's be honest, the moment you put your foot down, that all goes away. It then shrinks to like 10 mpg.
Oh.
If you actually like flat-footed everywhere you go, yeah, it's like 10 mpg everywhere. So it really depends on how you drive the car, but it's the beauty I find about V8s, and majority have owned V8 cars. I've had a turbo car before. I had the Toyota JZX90. It was a Mark II Chaser Tourer V, and you know, because I wanted a turbo car at the time, and I was like, well, if I was gonna do a turbo car, I'm gonna do a JZ, like a Toyota JZ car.
Yeah.
And I loved it, but I still, at the end of the day, when the time came to it, I had too many cars at the time, and a few of them were kind of starting to break, and the Toyota was one of them, and the Nissan was too, but I made the decision at that time to keep the Toyota, keep the Nissan, because it sounds so janky when I say it this way, but I kept my Nissan because finding Chevy parts is a lot easier than finding Toyota parts from overseas.
Oh yeah, 100%. I could say the same thing with the Nissans, especially when we're going for the GTR side of things. Like my years ago, this was around the time my father was pretty much still around back in 2015. So I was looking for like my next project. I originally had money to do it, and things kind of happened down the line where I couldn't be able to do it. But he was looking through like Auto Trader, Craigslist too, and I found I think it was like an R32 in Columbus, Ohio.
Those were legal at that time already. So.
Mm-hmm. It was beautiful looking. He has everything all like documented. Anytime he does an oil change, or fixing it and everything, he kept everything documented, so you feel more comfortable with it than, because like originally it's like almost got over my head about it. It's like I was just gonna buy it.
Yeah.
And not think about how hard it's gonna be just to find parts just for the engine.
Yeah, so what I learned is that if you're stubborn, like how I was, and I was like, oh, I wanted to keep everything OEM original, that's where I fucked up. I thought that I could keep everything OEM original, and the reality is that when I learned that, because what was going on with the Toyota was that the water pump was going, and it was spewing coolant everywhere, and the thing is that the JZ engines, because it's nerdy, but I'll talk about it. So the JZ engines, a lot of people think they all are the same, but depending on what car they came in, they'll have different radiator system. The cooling system might be different. The water pump is a little different. And the main example is for a lot of the older cars, they use mechanical. It was a mechanical fan for the radiator system. A lot of people said upgrade to the newer version, which is an electronic fan. From the newer versions of the car, it's a lot cheaper. But where I was stubborn and I was pretty much trying to build I was trying to have like a time capsule car, like a straight, like everything is Toyota OEM, but it's in America. And I found out that if I wanted to get OEM Toyota water pump for that car specifically, it was going to be $900 for the water pump and all the gaskets, and it was going to take 4 months from Australia.
Oh wow.
So that was the point when I realized that, like, when I could go get a whole camshaft, crank, the new valves from the fucking, for the Nissan down the street, and I was like, yeah, that's, I'm not gonna go on with this anymore, and I do regret it because I sold it for I bought it for a low price and I sold it for a low price. So, they're, you'll see them online now, and they're typically $20,000 to $30,000 cars. Specifically the spec that I had, because it was from the factory a 5-speed manual with the turbo motor.
Oh hell yeah.
And that is pretty much like the most desirable like model that you could get from them. But unfortunately, I think that's why I always meme. I say it's like I got the car pre-funk era, because if you got after that, funk tax became a thing, because the JZX platform became unbelievably popular as like a drift car because it just got so much limelight in the culture. So
it's because, like, when it comes to a lot of the JDM stuff, it's like it's especially more and more over the years, it's become a very desirable thing to have now. A lot of JDM kind of cars.
People would laugh when you would say like Barrett Jackson has a mint condition Honda Civic for sale.
Yeah, I've seen
People
that.
used to be like, no fucking way that's ever gonna happen, and look where we are now. Fucking mint condition 90s Honda Civic selling for like 30 grand.
Yeah, it's like I seen one too that they someone brought over a I think it was like the 95 Toyota Supras. I don't remember the exact years for the 90s ones, but it's more like the mid 90s, late 90s kind of thing. But this guy, like, he took amazing care of that Supra. I don't think he ever even take it out of the garage majority of the time. The miles were like not even 500 miles on that thing. Yeah. All stock. It's a turbo car, so it's one of the bigger, like, more desirable ones for sure.
Yeah.
And seeing that Barrett Jackson is like, dude, no way.
Yeah.
And the announcer, I forget his name, but he's always been like a big fan with Shelby's, because Barrett Jackson is like a big support with Shelby America. They are. Yep. Yeah, it's like they met Carroll Shelby throughout his career over the years before he all the way to the time he passed, and they still support him now. And he's just geeking out over that Supra. It's like I've never heard of him talk like that about JDMs. It's like I would love to have a Supra. I would.
They are very, very good car. Overall, they're just really good cars. So
that engine is just like, those things are beasts.
It's so. Here, I'll give a funny perspective about it. I guess as someone who's owned a car with that similar engine in it,
yeah,
in completely stock form, it's pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
But it's the potential to do more with it, and even doing just, downpipe exhaust and stuff, it just opens up a lot more noises and just sensations that you don't get, because if you don't, it's honestly just feels like a vacuum cleaner when you drive it. And like, I maybe it's like saying because I'm just like an American that's spoiled, and I had more experience with the V8s before then, like even like shitty Mustangs. Those have more fucking torque to offer you and more of a pull than a Supra will stock.
Oh
But
yeah.
obviously, though, like there's a complete different vibe and everything that the Supra brings, and it's like, no, that's just the thing,
It
you know.
is.
And it's ironic I say that I'm like, oh, this engine's boring, blah blah blah, but I never had any intentions of upgrading my engine. I always was like, well, 300 horsepower, that's good enough for me. That's plenty of power for me. So
Yeah, it's like when I was in at a college in Lime, Ohio. It's called UNOH. I don't know if you come across ads for that
nope.
college on. Okay, so they're known for 100% automotive. So
Okay.
not just get into the world of working on cars, you know, for a mechanic and everything, but what they do is they are heavily towards NASCAR. So
Okay.
a lot of dirt track racing scene is there. We got a track that's literally like 5 minutes from the campus. And every Friday night and Saturday nights at the track, every student has an assignment on what they're supposed to do, their positions and everything. So one has to work on with the prepping the tires for for the runs, and
Mm-hmm.
the guy work on the suspension and all that jazz. They even take turns with drivers too, so every heat is a different driver.
Okay. Wow.
So they're heavily sponsored by NASCAR and now Monster Jam.
Huh.
And the last year I was at UNOH, just before I had to quit with health issues, but I didn't have a car. Like for you, even to this day, I did not have a car. Ever since I sold my Thunderbird, I do not have a vehicle. I never even have the money to even afford one. And so I have to walk, you know, location location. The camp is pretty big,
Mm.
and this is around time when UNOH and Monster Jam is moving all the things that they do with Monster Jam into the facility. So they actually run. I should have took pictures of it years ago, but they had Dennis Anderson's Gravedigger there. So like
Oh
one of
shit.
their like extra vehicles, because they have like a decent collection of different like Gravedigger monster trucks at their facility. So they donate one of them over to UNOH years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was going to classroom, that little that section they built up, and they were bringing in big rigs over, and you see these guys unloading the monster truck out of the trailers, tires,
That's
extra
cool.
engines to get the whole class started. And it's like that is so freaking cool.
Yeah.
I grew up in the world of Monster Jam. I remember the 90s. We're talking about something before Monster Jam became a thing.
Mm.
It used What it used to be back then was tough trucks in the 90s. That was like the big thing before Monster Jam became a thing. So I've been in that world since I was a kid. My father got me into the whole thing with Bigfoot and stuff like that. So I remember going to a Monster Jam event once, and definitely do it again. I went to the I forget what they call the stadium up in Detroit. I think it's like the Ford Stadium or something like that. But they have a lot of room to run, so they can launch those things. I don't know if you ever come across like any kind of like the monster truck events in your areas and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's some of them.
Yeah, I remember. I, I think I was about maybe 8 years old, probably around there. We had this in a city called Findlay, Ohio. Is where I used to live at, and this Dodge dealership, they were promoting the new Dodge Ram, So they decide to fully sponsor a team for monster truck racing for Monster Jam. So what they
Okay.
did for the promotion is they got a couple of brand new Dodge Rams, and one of them would like kind of like sitting side by side beside the cars that are going to get crushed. So what they did is, this is hilarious. They would get brand new Ford pickups and brand new Chevy pickups, and were the crushing cars for the monster truck.
Oh wow. Brand new.
Yeah, they it's literally like a middle finger to
Yeah.
because for a while Ford and GM were really into Monster Jam back then, but over the
Yep.
years the big three started easing away from the brand.
Hmm.
But back then, so like we got the team they had is called Ram Air, I think is what it was. And then Ford's called Blue Thunder, which that became a very iconic name in the sport. And I forget what. I think for GM, I think it's more towards the guys with Gravedigger more anything,
Hmm.
because they work with 100% Chevy based engines. But yeah, that's something I'll never forget. So since we talked about cars and everything, do you do you go to like some racing events every now and then?
Yeah, mostly the motorsport event I go to most, so is to go like just in general, I like the most is the drift events around my area. They've got one big one and down in the Connecticut area called Lock City Drift, and it's over at Thompson Speedway, and
Okay.
no, it's cool. Yeah, it's just a lot of good. I like the what I appreciate about drifting is that it. So I don't drift personally. I really want to get into drifting. I've done a bit of autocross in the past, and I did like that a lot. But autocross is definitely a lot more like, hey, like this is like time trials. Like you're trying to get a good time. Drifting is a lot less rules, and it's just
Yeah.
kind of like go out there, have fun, have some style, and try to get good. Just practice essentially. And I never seen another motorsport that just kind of gave you so much free reign on lap time, like
Oh
just
yeah.
seat time, because it's like if there's not a lot of people out there, you can keep going. You can keep driving as much as you want. It's not like, oh, you gotta wait for your heat to go on and then you can go. And I think that's really cool about drifting. And yeah, that's the event I go to the most. Autocross, the events I've done with autocross, I will say I liked because they weren't like in parking lots. They were held in an airfield, an
Okay.
abandoned airfield. So it
Hell yeah.
pretty much gave you a whole entire circuit to do a time attack on. Is the way it felt more. It felt more like a circuit time attack.
Oh
Um,
sweet.
and that was fun. I enjoyed that. But I definitely want to actually get into drifting. And ironically, I still want to keep building the 240 into a Grand Touring car. I actually don't want to drift that car. Um,
Okay.
I really want to get an older BMW to drift with, just because I always have liked older BMWs for drifting more than I've Nissans. I've just like I just thought it was a bit more of an appeal to the German cars drifting, the old German cars drifting than I do with the Japanese. Because what got me into drifting or like the whole drift scene was obviously a bit of the Japanese scene, because like back in the day, like my pops and stuff even showed me like old drifting videos and stuff like that he found on the internet. Because my family, my pop, we were always into imports and stuff like that around the family.
Oh yeah.
We've always liked yeah, we've always had like, well, he didn't. My pops never had a cool car, but he's always had like leader sports bikes. He's always was into sports bikes.
Okay.
So
Yeah, it's like drifting, it's like I wish we have something like that over here. I think the closest drift event that we get, and it's a big one too, is in Columbus, Ohio. That's like one of the biggest ones that we get in the
Yeah,
state.
actually, you mentioned that because I thought it would be more popular. I always hear about people talking about Midwest style as a drift style. Like there's like a literally like kind of a scene about and Midwest style, from my knowledge, is just extremely slammed cars. Like talking centimeters from the ground, slammed cars, and still being able to drift and stuff.
Yeah, it's like in our area we don't get a lot of people talking about drifting very much at all. More than anything over
Mm,
here, we are more on the world of dirt track racing big time.
okay, I can see that. That makes.
And it's like I think it was like 1 year at the Toledo Speedway in Toledo, Ohio. They they did like a drifting kind of like venue for a little bit, and they didn't do another one.
Hmm.
But it's like
Maybe
this
other
one, and
organizers.
yeah, it just wasn't very many people coming in.
Hmm. That was surprised. Now it might be a different story because
Oh
drifting is
yeah,
more popular than ever now.
oh yeah, it's booming big time as of lately. Cause like if I do hear about it again, I'm definitely going.
It's a really fun time because like it's one of those things where it's really easy to just talk to the drivers because they're just kind of. And I'm not sure your venues too. Like I'll say maybe it's because we're in New England, but like it's even if you're out there chilling on the track, it's a lot of just like partying essentially,
Oh
especially towards the nighttime. It's a lot of partying going on and a lot of what you'd expect between the smoke and the drinks. So,
yeah. Um.
which I appreciate because it's like I like the fact that I can go, get a little funky and then get into a drift car and then go for a ride. It's really 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 fun. Like I said, I like as a passenger, obviously, but it's just like it's just really fun to do. When you're hammered and you go into a drift car, it's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah, I always want to experience being the passenger. It's like,
Because it's fun. The place I go to, they do night venue. They call it night stages. So they turn all the lights on, and a lot of the drift cars have like underglow and like strobe lights and stuff like that. So it's like
oh
it's a,
yeah,
it's like a very fun thing.
yeah, it's
Like I
like,
said, the spectators were mostly all cocked and drunk. So like,
it's like it used to be like dirt track racing used to be pretty light, pretty comfortable with rules back in like the
Mhm.
90s and early 2000s. But when they're starting to when a lot of like big name events, so like Board of the Outlaws and stuff like that, or to the All Star class, which that's like sprint car class, and
Mhm.
the modifieds. But they're trying to be more advertiser friendly because of TV and everything. So like
Mhm.
the only way you can find like a very laid back like dirt track racing event is very hard to get now. We got
Mhm.
this one track as in outside of Lima. We're talking about like mom and pop homemade dirt track out in the out in the cornfield.
Okay.
And the
I
bleachers
like
are like barely holding on like a toothpick. Is I forget the name of the place. It's like it reminds me of an old track in outside Findlay, Ohio. It used to be a really well known track because of Jeff Gordon, because he used to drive a lot in the dirt track scene before he got into NASCAR.
Hmm. Did
And
not know
Jeff
that.
Gordon likes to race, and I think the track is called Wood Lane. I think it's what it is.
Mhm.
And it's not like a big name track. It's kind of like a more of a higher class like mom and pop kind of like drag strip. Not drag
Okay.
strip. I don't know why I'm thinking about drag racing now. I've been talking with some family about drag racing as of lately. We might be going to an event that's in Norwalk, Ohio called Night Under Fire. So we're in talks of paying for getting tickets paid early and stuff like that because they get sold quick.
Mm.
But the track, anyways, the one outside Findlay, it's not like a big like fancy venue. The bleachers, they're very worn out wood. I remember one year hearing somebody that broke through one of the steps one year. So it's not like a very well known spot. But I guess the way they prep the track or something like that, a lot of drivers really liked. Because, like, apparently, like, I don't know nothing about how prepping works when it comes to the dirt tracks. But there's different ways, there's, like, different kind of layouts they do for dirt track races. So you got, like, your regular dirt and everything, water it down and everything every so often so it doesn't become a big dust storm. But you got this like tracks like that little small one that's outside of Lima that I was mentioned. They use clay, and some
Like
people,
completely different.
yeah. So like with clay, it's a lot more slipperier. It's a harder
Yeah.
thing to drive, but because like when it comes to sliding, it's not like it's kind of like the idea of drifting just a little bit, but they had to have some kind of a control on the grip when you go to the entry and the out, because you don't have a lot of space to really charge down the straightaways.
Oh yeah, no. So you're kind of, it's like the theory of like, yeah, because I've always heard with dirt racing, they kind of have to skid around more to kind of maximize speed.
Yeah,
Because there's just no other choice. You just don't have as much grip, so you kind of just have to fight for it and to kind of do the edge versus trying to be traditionally faster on like tarmac, let's say.
yeah. It's wild like how these different tracks will use different kind of stuff and affects cars very differently. And it's like from the drivers that I met over the years in the dirt track scene, a lot of them say like a lot more of the dirt feels like it's more controllable, more a little bit more on the grippier side. But when it comes to the clay, it's a little bit slippier, but you're going really fast.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the biggest tracks that we get here in Ohio is a track called Eldora. It's one of the biggest dirt tracks in the country. And these guys, they'll go, I think someone said they go like 160 mile an hour on sprints on that track, and there's no letting up. They literally, majority of the time, almost full throttle. And seeing these guys on sprints and, whipping around on these big, like, smooth, like, turns, because this place is massive. It's wild to see these guys just hardly let up. Have you ever checked out a dirt track racing event before?
Not a lot around me. Unfortunately, being in the Northeast, you kind of only got Maine and New Hampshire for a lot of this stuff.
Mm-hmm. Because I know
Southern New England doesn't have a lot of that stuff. We have tarmac venues, but not a lot of dirt venues.
Okay.
So.
Because I know years ago, I don't know the names of the tracks, but I remember it used to be some pretty well-known ones in more like the outskirts of New York, if I remember correctly. But we're talking about
Yeah,
like
Watkins
the
Glen,
80s, the 90s
famous
here.
one out there.
Yeah, it's like whenever we get time,
There's a
we
lot
go
of
to the track.
stuff, sure, but unfortunately, a lot of them got shut down.
Yeah. And that's kind of the problems that we're having over here as well. There is more and more tracks closing up in our area.
Yeah.
Like,
It's the classic though. It's like, developers make house in a new area, people start complaining, and then it's like, it's one of like, as a real estate agent, it always pisses me off because as a real estate agent, it's one of your main jobs to disclose what the hell's going on in the area that you sell a house. But the reality and what I've learned from clients is that you could tell them something that they don't want to hear, and they specifically told you, like, I don't want to deal with this or something, but they'll just ignore all of what you say and just do it anyways, and then complain later to the state.
Yeah, because like there
Happens
had
so many times, and I'm just like, this behavior is so childish, but like, it's just human behavior at this point. I don't know what else to say to it. Like,
yeah, because
you'll
there's
tell people think that they're entitled to a lot more things when they buy a house, even though there's specifically things that they fucking sign that says everything against that, but they don't think that applies to them because they spend so much money.
yeah.
It's so stupid. I hate it, but it's just sorry.
Yeah, it's like over in I don't know if it's like Arizona area. It's over in the west. There is a very like famous track. A lot of really big names started out in this track. Every now and then, I think you see Top Gear making an arrival to the track every now and then. Same thing with the guys with Roadkill. I think it's called Watkins Glen.
Watkins Glen is in New York. You might be
Not
thinking
New
about
York.
Willow Springs.
Willow Springs, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, not long ago there was a big fight with the new residential neighborhood that was slowly building up closer to that track, and people are
Yeah.
flipping out about it. I think even Laguna Seca got into a big
Yep.
court
Laguna
battle
Seca
too,
did. Yeah.
and it's like, don't close up Laguna. Like,
It's one of those things that always drives me insane that there's other historical sites in the country that don't get that kind of ridicule because it's like you say, it's I don't know. There's a lot of things. That's why I don't like the business I'm in, because I just feel like it's a lot of that. Like a lot of people with money thinking that they can just I don't know. People suck. That's all I'll say. People suck. So it's like.
yeah, things have been pretty crazy with that. I know Cletus McFarlane, I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah, he had trouble with that too.
Mhm.
Yeah, going on with his venue.
Yeah, I've been following that whole court case when that was like going pretty big at the beginning.
Mhm.
It's crazy what the people like know very well there's a track, and you know pretty damn well that it's gonna be loud. It's not gonna be a very
Yeah,
quiet thing. You're gonna smell tires, especially there.
yeah,
Like,
and like I said, you can give everybody the fine print, and they'll agree to all of it at the time. But when the time comes, they're still gonna throw a fit over something.
yeah,
That's what I've learned about people when it comes to things like that.
yeah. It's like if I'm able to go see like Laguna, everybody has like some kind of like a bucket list thing that they want to, places they want to go, things they want to do. There's a lot of like racing involved that I always wanted to get into. It's like we briefly talked about a while ago about top speed record runs, at the Bonneville Salt
Yeah.
Flats, and always want to go to Bonneville. And it's like same thing with like Barrett Jackson, even like going to Laguna Seca. I mean, like I'll be happy with that. I'm a simple person. Is there like race events, tracks that you always want to go to?
Yeah, like you said, I mean, internationally, yeah, there's like generic ones like Nürburgring and stuff. I've had buddies who've gone and told me it's really cool. In America, yeah, I mean, Laguna Seca is one that I definitely wanted to see as well. I agree with you on that. Oddly enough, it's pretty close to me. I've always wanted to go to Lime Rock.
That would be cool.
Lime Rock's it's actually pretty close to me, but
oh really?
Should be able to make out to it. Yeah, it's like an hour and a half, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Like we
And again, Lime Rock's another one. Same situation. They've had to deal with it too, with them being historical, and
really,
they try to get shut down by the yeah.
it's
It's
like
why I honestly hate new houses. I don't like selling new houses because I think new houses are kind of shitty. Most new houses are not built in the same materials that were built in like the 70s and the 80s and stuff like that, which I think was a much better era for building material. Um, and two, it causes issues like this where they start building in places that have already been historically doing other things, and people are stupid and just don't understand that like this is what you reap what you sow, and they just kind of think they can bend things their own power, essentially. So I
yeah,
don't know. That's what I just hate it because the people who are like that are just lame as hell. So
yeah, I get you.
I don't know. It's noise and smells have never really bothered me in the public. I always kind of grown up around areas that were kind of louder. So
Oh yeah, it's about same here. It's like when I was originally living in Lima, it's like Lima, Ohio. It's like other than that college that we have there, but we got the Ford plant that makes the V8s over there, and we got a lot of race and heritage in Lima, Ohio. And we got I don't know if you ever heard of the four-wheel jamboree.
no.
It's like a big like truck event. They take up this massive fairground and they turn it like literally into like a big like festival. So people bring their customized like trucks, especially a lot of big names come in, experiment on truck builds to show off their brands. It's like it's a party over there. A lot of people drinking moonshine,
Yeah,
mud
I know.
wrestling. It's like a
All
whole
right,
new
I need to
world
take.
over there. Oh,
I'm
what's
getting
up?
frustrated. I need to take like a 5-minute break from drawing for this because I cannot nail any of what I'm doing. I'm
Oh,
gonna go get a drink real quick.
okay, yeah, that's totally fine. All right. So yeah, so this is something very new that I'm gonna be doing with future streams when it comes to MadWorldImages as a whole. It's like, oh, it's like what I talked to HazyHours and the past meetups we did. I grew up a lot of like old school artists back in like 2018 to 2022, and we do like a lot of art meetups and at the local parks and everything. So it's like doing this idea is kind of like bringing a similar feeling to like that. So this is why I like wanted to try this whole thing out. I know there's like podcasts and stuff like that, but it's always kind of neat to bring other artists on stream and get to know them, chat with them, and it's fun to chat and work at the same time. It's like when you're streaming on your own, and it's like sometimes like you're talking to yourself, or you're looking at figurines and you're talking to them and make you look like you're going crazy. But it's nice to have someone to chat with when you're drawing. It just kind of like passes time. You have fun doing it. And you're not making a set goal of how far you get down on your piece. You just chat, chill, draw, and have fun. And if you guys that are watching, if you're drawing as well, let us know as well. Okay, here in a sec. And we're gonna do a quick social media post of the stream. Kind of keeping everybody updated because this stream is not. These streams are not gonna be like 3-4 hour streams. This is like a couple hour kind of thing, 2 hours to 2.5 hours. This is something simple, short, because like usually like how I usually am when I um, stream my artworks. Usually around 2:30 is when I start to crash, because you're drawing for hours on end, and you will get burned out.
I'm back.
Hey, welcome back. Just talking with the people who are watching, just explain how this whole thing's going to be. How this whole idea with the streams are going to be. Pretty much talking like how I mentioned it with you too. It's like I used to meet with some old artists, meeting up at locations at parks, doing art sessions, chat, draw, drink. It's just like you see it every now and then on stream. Some people like invite other artists and just draw and stuff like that, but they don't get fully into art. They get into more video games later on, so like a little bit of time on art. So this is something kind of like different, pretty much. It's a nice new idea to try to do for not just for the channel, but for doing collaborations like with you and everything. Because like I'm telling you, it's like when it comes to streaming, especially you're doing it by yourself, it's very quiet.
Ow.
Yeah, it's like it's like I was mentioning where you're going. It's like sometimes you feel like you're talking to yourself, and you're looking at your figurines. So you feel like you're talking to those figurines. You're like,
yeah.
It gets to you every now and then.
It was funny. When you mean figurines, what you mean, like anime figures, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
have one. I have one anime figure.
I love having them. It's like they're nice to have for like inspiration on different poses, figures, and everything.
Oh. Ow. That hurt.
You could.
Yeah. I forgot how bad Sky Vodka is.
Sky what?
Sky Vodka.
Oh, Sky Vodka.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just I brought out my cart and everything. I was able to kick. I don't have to worry about, but it's like what you talked about. Like last time we meet up, it's like Twitch is like very finicky about when it comes to topics on like sometimes alcohol, sometimes on marijuana and stuff like that. But yeah. I just found it's like I just found out when I was going through the settings for the stream for tonight, they do have a checkbox that's literally hidden in the list of settings that they have for Twitch, that they allow like sexual themes to drugs, intoxication, tobacco use, So like that's great. I mean, before that they were very picky about it, but now it seems like they're allowing us at least to port those warnings up so these guys don't breathe down my neck.
Yeah.
So it's cool that we can talk about alcohol, marijuana. We just can't get into like the really crazy stuff.
Which I still think is funny because I still think that's a subjective thing.
Yeah.
From our conversation, before. I think that's a subjective thing of what you think's extreme or not.
Yeah, it's like it's because like Twitch, it's like Kick, not so much. What they're doing is like Twitch, what they're trying to do is have sponsors. I get that. It helps out pay the bills to keep the platform going. But it's like with Kick, they have a little bit of a balance to it in a way.
Mhm.
So you can be able to do stuff like, talk about stuff like that and still have, your sponsors. But it's just really depending how the platform wants to go. It's like with the platform on Twitch, they want to bring more not just adults but kids as well.
Which I don't know. I think it's kind of freaky personally, because I think the concept of being able to reach out to the person that you are watching is kind of an adult thing.
Yeah,
Personally,
it's like,
I don't think it's help. I just don't think that's a good thing for children to have to be.
yeah,
And in an adult, yeah, even if it's non-adult subjects, I just don't think that's good, personally. But
I agree with you. It's really not. And it's like,
it's like, who's screen maxing their kid like that? I don't know. That's all I'm.
yeah, because
Who's
like,
screen maxing their kid that they like streamers? I don't know, dude. I don't know.
little Jimmy, what are you watching? I'm watching Shy Lily, mommy.
Yeah. And to be honest, so I've had that conversation with people kind of in their late teens, which I don't think is weird. Like 18,
No.
19, like you're an adult. Like you can make your decisions. You're 18 years old. And it's funny because their parents are there with them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, what does Jimmy like to watch? That Shy Lily, that girl with the whale."
Yeah. And the very first thing that pops up on on the screen is Shy Lily's suit just kind of gets undone when she sneezes.
Yeah. The funny thing is the mom didn't care. The mom was cool. The mom was just like, "Yeah, she's cute. I think she's really cute."
It's like with anime nowadays, it's becoming a little bit more. Not a little bit. It's becoming more acceptive, especially more on the.
It's so accepted now, dude. Like it's, in my opinion, I'm like, before I never talk about it, but now it's just like an easy thing. It's such an icebreaker to the point where like there's animes that I consider that I'm just like, all right, if you start off that conversation with this, I'm just like, I kind of know where this is going.
Yeah.
And kind of thing, like I already know where this is going. I'm just like,
And it's like
I
even
don't know,
the.
dude. Anime is a funny one in the sense of, I think it still to this day still persists that, at least in my opinion, guys still, if you watch anything outside of shonen, it's weird.
Oh yeah.
But for girls, it's free. Everything's free game. Everything's free game now. Fujoshi culture is at an all-time high. So that's what.
It's like when we. It's like get into like the more anime side of things.
On my screen, your shit's blank right now. Is this because I'm just fucking? Am I that spaced out right now?
Oh shit. Damn OBS.
Yeah,
Sorry
did
about
OBS
that.
die? What happened?
No, remember I mentioned about that stupid pop-up to keep your screen
Oh.
open? It's like I was checking the settings because there was some little bit issues with OBS I had to check. Sorry about that.
You good?
It's not really the efficient way of doing it. I'm hoping down the road I'll figure out another way of doing it a little bit better to screen capture, because I mean it can work, I can leave it up and stuff like that, but I only have 2 monitors, and you have to have it pretty much up front with all the windows, or else it just goes black if you try to click on a different window. So I'm hoping, because like that's what I was like talking about with OBS. There's a lot of stuff you can do with it, but it's very difficult to work with. And it's like I don't know Discord very well, so I'm still very new to Discord. I mainly used it for the longest time to different channels that I come across, especially a lot of like content creators that are making stuff for like Blender, art softwares and stuff like that, and streamers. But more recently, I mean, you follow me on Discord as well. It's like I'm trying to get used to using it. It's like I'm still learning how Discord works and everything. Especially now, you gotta pay monthly for doing a majority of the things to your channel now.
I guess. Huh?
Yeah, if I want to send like kind of like bigger files on the channel, I had to pay $2 a month to do that, or something like that. Kind of annoying, but it is what it is. But like what we were talking about with anime and stuff like that, the shows that you did, you were able to watch. What do you like to watch? Or
Honestly, I just went through just like the cycle of just a lot of different rom-coms. So I've just watched a lot of like the mid 2010s era stuff a lot, and I mean, it's one of those things where like you kind of have to, if you name it, I'll be like, all right, I watched that, but I can't just name it off the top of my head.
Okay. So you see like stuff from back in like the early Toonami days, the Adult Swim kind of
A
stuff. So
little
like,
later than that, to be honest. A lot of
yeah.
the stuff that was on Toonami and after, I genuinely have just had like cases where like, oh, I want to watch a more retro anime, and then I'll just like look up a link for it and I'll find it and I'll watch it. And I've done that, but for the most part, most of like my binged, the time where like I really binged anime was all from like I'd say like 2013 anime to like 2016. No, I'd say earlier than that, like 2008 to like 2016 era of stuff. What I binged.
Yeah, I remember we're talking about like early 2000s. I remember sneaking to the TV at night, late at night, watching Cowboy Bebop. Fully Cooley.
Yeah.
Fully Cooley was a weird one back then. But it's just something about the art style, a lot of the old animes is just so eye catching, especially like the way they did the animation for Fully Cooley is so dramatic. And Cowboy Bebop with the really cool the details, the scenery and everything. So like if you remember the shows, what really got you into doing like anime artwork?
Well, I can tell you the very first anime I actually ever really genuinely was like, oh wow, I really like this. It's was the anime series To Love Ru.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
I think that kind of set the projection of the rest of what I liked aesthetically about anime. It was a pretty ecchi series, to be honest, and yeah, no, I will say too, it's like growing up in the family that I did, like a lot of the anime art style was not a weird thing. Like I was actually, oddly enough, I'd say kind of encouraged by my mom and stuff to like get into like manga and things like that because she was into that when she was younger.
Oh, neat.
So she was kind of like, giving me like, oh, like I saw this at the store, and that's when she started buying me like, I know I talked about earlier shonen and stuff, but that's when she started buying me like Shonen Jump and like Naruto, like the mangas and stuff like that, and like One Piece and things like that. She started kind of buying for me, and well, I would ask, and then she would buy for me, and I'd appreciate that a lot.
That is awesome. It's like my family, they never got into it except my father late in his years before he passed. Like
so, no, yeah, you go.
Okay.
I want to hear about this.
So it's like what we talked, like what you talked about my father, which I wanted to mention on stream because it's a really funny story. But it's like I was telling you that my father started getting into anime a little bit more and more the later years. So he started to, showing me like things he found on YouTube, and he'll send it to me by email. I didn't mention that. So then over the years, like I let my father come in my room wherever he wants because he likes to draw. I let him use my equipment and stuff like that. I mean, he's my main inspiration when it comes to art because he does a lot of like almost like the idea is like mixing like Rat Fink. He does like goes back and forth between Rat Fink kind of art style. For people who don't know what that is, it's a very old school like automotive art that was like very big back in like the 60s to the 90s. But he does like stuff like that for a little bit, and then he gets into like the Bob Ross kind of stuff, so like landscape paintings and stuff like that. And so I always let him come in. I had anime play. I used to watch a lot of anime early in years, not so much anymore because I can't even keep up with this stuff nowadays.
Yeah, I feel you with that. Just
So like I first heard about High School DxD with one of my buddies from college. So I got playing on the big TV up in my room while I was drawing, and I just kind of smoking, just kind of chilled out, just zoned out in the artwork, just listening to the show. And I looked up, I see my father kind of has his head kind of like held back a little bit. He kind of looks at me. He's like, "What's up?" "Not much. This looks interesting."
yeah, the DxDs are very interesting.
Can I watch it? Sure.
Well, not gonna lie, even outside the lewdness, it was just funny.
Yeah.
It was a pretty fun series, in my opinion. So.
Oh yeah, it's like
It was very. How do I say it? I guess the best way, in my opinion, that you can describe a lot of that type of anime to like a boomer for the best, it's American Pie humor.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It's
very American Pie humor, and you have to get that. And I think a lot of older adults do get that. And I think, for example, I think that's why my folks don't have a problem with a lot of the lewd stuff I do, because it kind of does, like, they mentioned it before. It's like, because it sounds so stupid, but like my parents are huge American Pie fans. They've liked every single movie that's come out from American Pie.
My dad loves American Pie so much.
Yeah. It's so Americana, dude, and there's a lot of vibes about that whole era that I generally do still love, and that's kind of why, like I said earlier, like, talking about the 240, like, I miss having a Hell Yeah machine, because that's just, like, early 2000s was, like, just, I don't know, I know I was, like, a baby at the time, but, like, it's still, like, a vibe.
Yeah, especially it's like, when I first started watching more, got into, like, Cowboy Bebop and stuff like that, got into the hot rod with my dad. He would work on his car in the front yard. It's like, I don't know, something about watching animes like Cowboy Bebop, Fully Cooley, what's that one show that used to be on Toonami for the longest time? Inuyasha.
Inuyasha.
Yeah, I used to watch a lot of Inuyasha. And it's like, when I watch a lot of these kind of things, I just remember helping my dad working on his old 55 Chevy Bel Air and learning to draw and everything.
So it's a lot of nostalgia trip for you, I guess.
It is, big time. And it's like, this is around the time when a TV show, for a lot of people that may not know what this show is, it's called Overhauling. It's a TV show. Oh, you remember that?
Yeah. I do remember that, yeah.
So,
like I said, I grew up even though my pops was not, I grew up in a family of imports. Like, we like to import stuff, but like, obviously, if you're into imports, you're still gonna, if you're into mechanic stuff, you're just gonna end up seeing all that stuff. You know? Like, all that. So.
It's like, I got inspired, but I think the two big things that got me really into the automotive side of things, like, it's like I mentioned, my dad gets into a lot of like the Rat Fink kind of stuff, so every now and then he does like little sketches of his cars and stuff like that. And at the time, watching Overhauling, we're talking about at the time when that show first got started, and watching the artist named Chip Foose, and I always loved his style, and that's how I got to this point. just
Mhm.
always research. I always like study that study that guy, because like even during like for the longest time, you can't really find a lot of footage of him drawing for the longest time until more recently. He started like making like these little drawing videos for Haggerty recently.
Oh, Haggerty. That's funny. Out of all, of course it would be Haggerty.
Yeah. So they made a deal with him that he does like a drawing of a specific thing that he wants to draw, and they post it on their YouTube channel. And it's like one of the hardest things is to follow an artist, especially when you're watching from a TV show setting. You got no way to pause. You don't, and especially for how
Watched
short.
that cooking show back in the day.
Yeah. And it's like overhauling. It's like the show I think it's only like lasts like 30 minutes. So they had to speed up his part of the show because they don't have the kind of time to watch him record all the sketching, from real time.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to follow his steps, it's always difficult because he's always sped up.
Yeah.
So it's like that's been like the biggest part about getting into that kind of stuff is like I always study the guy. And hopefully down the road, like, going to Detroit All-Rama, I hope I can get to meet him at least for a short minute. Because I know he goes to the Detroit All-Rama almost every year. I know there's a lot of really awesome builders that go up there as well, so it's one of the events that I've been aching to go for quite a few years. Do you guys get a lot of like bigger like car shows in your area or close to you?
Yes and no. I would say most of the bigger car shows in my area are based off of like concourse style events, so more exotic type of cars and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not really American muscle as much, but like a lot of exotic cars. Because like I'm in I'm right next to Connecticut, and Connecticut is kind of like a rich Magic Kingdom. So they just have a lot of just really nice cars over there, and it's mostly exotic. So
Yeah, we started to get some exotic stuff coming in more recently, especially in our area. I think like the biggest like I guess you say one of the more higher end kind of cars I did for a commission was the 2016 Ford GT.
those are always cool though. That's a
Yeah.
cool car.
In this specific one, I guess the guy that bought the car, I guess he had some ties with Ford back in the early days of like Trans Am racing almost.
Mm-hmm.
And I forget the guy's name is because he's known for doing a lot of like paintings as well. So he does a lot of like he's an old school guy, so he does a lot of pinstriping and all
Okay.
that stuff, and airbrushing on cars. So in his early days, he used to race a lot, and he drove Mustangs majority of his career.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like with Ford, when they first released the GTs, they're very, very strict on who's getting the car. I don't know if you ever looked into that kind of information.
Maybe the OG, like from like 2007. Or are you talking the new one? Or...
Yeah, the new one, so like 2016.
Okay.
Because like they're worried about their car getting a hands on like some, because like in the automotive companies like GM, Chrysler, they do get people that would go buy the cars and tear them apart and see what's making them, what's making the vehicles do so well against theirs and stuff like that. So they were worried about that with the 2016 Ford GT. So they had to interview you to get, so they choose if you're allowed to get the car.
Yeah.
So like, um,
They're like,
uh,
no, we will not sell to Mercedes-Benz
yeah,
of Germany.
President of
Porsche Club
Mercedes-Benz.
of USA wants to buy our car. No. No.
Hey, for the manager of Ferrari wants to buy wants to buy
Yeah,
the
he wants to buy 3 copies of it. No big deal, right?
GT. They're still a little spicy about 1960 what 5.
Yeah.
But it's like, um, I'm pretty sure you know this wrestler mainly because of the movies and stuff like our social media. John Cena.
Yeah, I worked for his family.
Oh
I
yeah, that's
sold a
right. You
house.
did mention that.
Yeah, I sold a house for his family.
I remember. I can't remember fully the conversation, but I remember they were kind of pain in the butt.
They were big pain in the butt. They were a big pain. No.
So, John Cena, he was able to purchase the GT, but I forget what he did. I guess he did almost like a review. We're talking about the time when that car first came out, and Ford was very skeptical on reviews because, like,
Yeah.
depending on certain topics, they don't want to get that information out.
Yeah.
And so John Cena, like, I don't know, you know much about his, like, when it comes to automotive with him, he's a big time car guy.
Oh yeah, no, I known that, and it was one of those funny things I remember talking with his family about, and they were like, because for a while, they were trying to hide the fact that like John Cena was their family, and they were like, oh yeah, cousin John always fucking likes his cars and always does a charity every single year, and he donates a sports car to the local Target. It's something like that. It's something along. Sorry, I had to, because that's literally how his fucking family talks. It's how. So sorry, I just have to digress to that because I always laugh about it. It's like growing up in New England and watching Family Guy. It took me so long to realize that it's a complete satire over New Englanders.
Yeah.
And that's just how I'm used to everyone sounding. That's literally how I'm used to everyone around me sounding. So
I was getting ready to say something. It's like they sound pretty New Yorkish.
yeah, so I don't. Yeah, there's times I get very embarrassed over my accent. I don't like to let it come out, but sometimes it does. So.
Yeah, I get that. It's like one of my family members, they're very country, so they got a very country accent to them.
Yeah.
So almost like I guess to say more southern kind of like area.
Twang.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying?
I guess like more like a twang. It's kind of hard to think of a good word for that.
Yeah, but honestly, accents are normal, dude. Like,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
one of those things. I've joked about it. I've talked to my cousins down south, and I'm like, they all claim they don't have accents, and I'm like, yeah, you guys clearly sound like you're from the south. And the same thing they say about me when I talk, and I'm like, I don't have an accent, and they're like, yes, you do. Okay. Oh my god, dude, this has been such a pain in the butt. This is such a simple thing. It's just I'm so shit bad at symmetry.
It's all
Really?
good, dude. Pretty much it's like I was talking to the people that are watching the stream while you're getting your drink. It's like this is not like a thing that we try to get so far on a picture by the end of the night. It's nothing like that. It is pretty much kind of relax, sketch, or if you got got a project that you're currently working on, you want to work it on stream, you can, and stuff like that. Because the biggest thing I'm trying to get for is comfortability. You know, I want to make sure the artist is the people I invite are comfortable and everything, and not feel like they need to rush to get a piece done. To get a certain part of the piece done. You know.
Yeah. Well, it's not really you. It was more like a pressure on me because I'm just like, come on, bro. You've been working on this for mad long. Like, you should be more progress. But as I talked to you about how this progressed, it was just like, well, I made the choices I made, and well, that's my fault. So
Yeah, it's like I said, it's all good. Like streaming is not very the best organizing fashion thing. Like, I can't tell you how many times that I don't get a piece done by Friday night. And it's like I usually start a piece on Monday and hoping to get the main part of the picture done. So the anime character, for instance, at least get her done, and then
hmm
probably do the background off camera, record the rest of the way, But there's been like times it's like, when I think you understand this completely here too. It's like when you look at a idea, what you want to do, it seems pretty straightforward. But when you start working and you're doing your progress on it, you're realizing that it's become a much bigger thing and it's starting to really
yeah.
drag out.
Yes and no, because I still always are like, all right, you should still be doing this faster.
Yeah.
And I kind of take a lot of it still.
Yeah, because like sometimes it's like depending like on the character, especially getting to the more VTubing side of things, like how like the details of the clothing on a lot of them are. Sometimes that can really be difficult to try to cram in within less than a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like it's nice to get it done. I think it's a good idea to get something done on stream, but sometimes you have to be prepared for anything.
Yeah, like how like I absolutely hate what I've drawn in the last like 30 minutes.
And sometimes this kind of helps me out too. Every now and then, it kind of gets like a refresher in the brain in a way. Mess with something, get off the glasses for a little bit, and kind of like mess with something else for a little bit. Sometimes
I
that
already
kind of
did
helps
that.
you refresh. Oh, you did?
I already
Okay.
Yeah, and then and then I just came back to it because I'm like, well, what else can I do? Because it's just like I was gonna do the glasses and then the rest of her ear section, but her cat ear section is like kind of complicated.
Oh yeah, because is it like kind of like the sunglasses kind of sitting on the ears a little bit?
That's what I'm trying to do, and that normally is not how she does it, but I'm kind of trying to do that because I want to put I want her holding the sunglasses unless I change the hand position completely. But I already did a piece recently with a girl doing a peace sign, so I don't want to do that.
Gotcha. Yeah, depending on this coming week goes, I'm thinking on doing like a VTuber fan art stream, another one, but I'm not 100% sold on who I'm choosing yet. Because I'm trying to go for, like, every now and then I like to bring the big names in, Shy Lily and stuff like that. But it's nice to bring out the smaller VTubers in the picture.
I think they care more and they will share more. That's from my own experience. I've noticed that a lot. So that's like, just like I said, I think. So even in my normal workplace job, I realized that consistent business is better than finding new clients sometimes. So it's like keeping the closer people happy or something better.
Yeah.
We're doing cooler things for those. It's like kind of more beneficial overall.
Yeah, it's like every now and then if you do like a fan art of a really well-known VTuber, sometimes you do get their attention with the fan art. Sometimes you don't.
No.
It's like,
Yeah.
It's like one of those kind of things like people ask me in the past is like when a VTuber don't really recognize your fan art that you did on a stream, does that bug you in a way? It's like, not really. It's cool that I get somebody to get them to recognize the picture, but I try not to expect it very much, you know, because like there's a lot
I
of
agree with
people.
that, man. Because I don't think that they should owe you
Yeah,
that. Really, I don't think that they should or have to, but like, because there's been times definitely I've had a no shares from them, but like you have to understand that you're gonna find people if you use your hashtag, you're gonna find people in the community to see it.
oh
So,
yeah. And it's like a lot of people that do like a lot of fan arts for their favorite VTubers, and they get annoyed that they're not recognizing. It's like there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of different stuff too.
mm,
And plus, for how many people that would say one VTuber has, it's like it's kind of hard to keep track of
yeah,
followers at times. Sometimes it gets kind of overwhelming.
yeah, but then there's like those weird moments when you're like, holy shit, like you thought you were being, you thought other people being parasocial, but then like you notice a streamer and you're like, oh shit, no, you're the one that's parasocial because you actually remember these people.
Yeah.
So I've seen that.
Yeah, I'm remembering more and more how hard it is to draw these cobras. Very long, light curves. And a lot of small parts. I think I'm going to take a break from the cobra and jump in on the girl for a little bit. We are pretty much in like the 2 hours and 12 minutes into the stream. So it's like I mentioned, it's like we can go up to like 2.5 hours and call it a night if you want, if you feel up for it, because like I try not to make them as long, but if you want to go longer, you're up for going longer, we can definitely.
Well, I just really want to complete more of this right now. I'm a little, like I said earlier too, I'm not sure if you realize I am not the fastest person. I'm not the most talented person. I really do take my time and have to fix a lot of things. So
I get you, yeah. It's like when you see me doing the line art right now, I'm not quick on it. I like to take my time with it. And it's like what we talked about earlier on. It's like I lost my stability in the right hand. So trying to be quick doing simple, trying to be quick doing smooth lines, it's really difficult. So when you got a lot of stability settings set up to help you fight that, you can't really you can't really be quick, because when you're trying to do like a quick loop,
you can. It's a weird thing, and that's actually why I've come to the habit of, unless I'm doing very specific type of lines, I don't actually use smoothing that much.
yeah. And it's like I don't know, it's because of like all the years of like the stress I'm put on my neck over the years. I get a little bit of jolts on my hands, so I like twitch. So when I like traditional art, and this is one of the things I'm struggling with that Torino piece. I'm starting remembering more and more why I kind of just didn't do a whole lot of it, because like I tend to like twitch every now and then. If it doesn't need to be like really big ones, but sometimes it just can be like you're starting to feel a little bit less control in your hand, and you just start getting like a shaky motion going on. Like either way, I am coming back on the artwork, on the markers too. Like I do like playing around with traditional art supplies, and especially how much I pay for art supplies as over the years. I do like to use them. Change the color of this cobra here. Make the line art a little bit easier. There we go. It's like the process that I have with these kind of pieces are very like weird. So I do a lot of my artwork. I do a lot of my line arts under one file, but keeping like a folder for doing the girl, a folder for the car. But when you try to do like the crazy amount of details of the character and the car under one file, that really brings up the memory on the device. It actually makes the CPU run like crazy.
Yeah, I noticed.
So what I usually do is like I make a separate save file out of that file that I do the line art on. So for instance, this after I'm done with this, I make a separate file for the anime girl, but still leave the line art of the Cobra in the background for help doing selections and stuff like that. And then the other file, which will pretty much mainly the main file would be the Cobra, and then put in the girl on there after when you finish and you export her into the file where the Cobra is pretty much fully colored and everything. And I noticed that kind of helps out with the performance of your computer. I experiment with that a lot on the iPad, because iPads they are limited. It's like the 2020 iPad Pros. I think they only had like 6 gigabytes RAM, and the CPU is not bad at all. It's a powerful little thing for what it is, So when I do a lot of these anime pinups with the cars, I can't do a whole lot. If I start to get into heavily into the line art, then it becomes very unstable. So it like crashes an awful lot. These music players ain't that bad. I forget the the company I went to for getting the royalty-free music to play on Twitch and Kick. It ain't bad. But hopefully down the road again to the more copyright kind of stuff in the future. Because like I listen to a lot of Tool when I get into a lot of the more anime kind of stuff. Yeah. I don't know why, but it clicks. Because I don't know. Oh, go ahead.
What?
It's like
I listen to a lot of R&B. So my vibes are very different.
I don't know nothing about like rap and R&B, but I'm always interested in what people are listening. What artists do you like to listen to?
Yeah, I cry to Whitney Houston, so.
You just listen to like a lot of R&B and rap genres, so you get into like other stuff as well.
80s, 90s. When I mostly either that or I'll switch to just a lot of Russian music, and that's like if I'm trying to zone out and not understand the lyrics, then I'll listen to like foreign music like that. But
you're kind of like me with Rammstein.
Yeah. I know they're a German band and they do German things.
I always want to go to a Rammstein concert.
Sounds fun.
It looks so fun.
I always wanted to go to at least one heavy metal concert in my life, even though I've never been super interested in the music, but the scene seems cool.
From when I went to this heavy metal festival that's in Columbus, Ohio, one of the biggest ones one of like the biggest bigger venues are starting to become like a countrywide kind of thing. These guys run these heavy metal festivals called Louder Than Life, Sonic Temple. So they bring a lot of mainly just heavy metal to the really crazier stuff, so like black metal and stuff like that.
Okay.
But they're known for bringing a lot of like classic heavy metal bands, so like Judas Priest.
Oh, that's cool.
Which got to see him last year. I was like third, like third row towards the center, towards the stage. I'll never forget that. Seeing Rod Halford in his age and he's still doing the vocals, it's like it's really cool to seeing these old bands are still kicking it. Because I grew up a lot of like the really old school heavy metal stuff, so there's a term for like around the time when heavy metal was first starting out, there's a term for it. It's called English wave heavy metal, because heavy metal is really started around with a lot of English bands.
Yeah.
So Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, Diamond Head, Motorhead. And so like, yeah, that's what really made, inspired bands like Megadeth. If you heard of these names, like bands like Megadeth, Metallica, Anthrax, and Slayer. And I watched this comedian. He's into like heavy metal music. He does his own kind of like comedy routines, mixing his music with it and stuff like that. So he always talks about being at a Slayer concert for the first time. And he compares it as like how the crowds feel like the extras of Lord of the Rings. So like, you ever watched Lord of the Rings films by any chance?
Yeah.
Okay. So like some of the monsters and stuff like that. So this guy, I think his name is Tom Burr, I think is what his name. The guy's always seemed like he's always drunk on stage doing his comedy routines. And compares like the how like the fans of Slayer fans are. He just like took his wife to see Metallica, and Slayer's the opening. His wife doesn't like not really into heavy metal music, but she always liked that one song from Metallica, Nothing Else Matters. That's it. So took her to that. And then when you look up for like Slayer concerts, Slayer fans are pretty out there. But it's like, that's the thing I really like about heavy metal music. Like, heavy metal fans are very, it's like, even though if you watch like mosh pits and everything on YouTube and stuff like that, but heavy metal fans are very laid back when you go to like festivals.
I know that. Yeah, they are.
But it's like when they get Slayer coming on, it's like a whole new person that comes out of these guys. So like him and his wife were like, trying to go up there, get closer to the front stage before Metallica comes in. And around the time, I think he says around the 90s, Slayer fans were like really like into the band. So like there would be like herds running in, stuff like that. And we've seen that with Slipknot at Sonic Temple. Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to like a heavy metal concert, especially like more of the towards like the older guys, if you want to try to go for more like traditional, like more known heavy metal music and stuff like that. So older bands like Judas Priest, Metallica, Megadeth, or if you want to get to like the more newer guys, so like Macedon, Tool, like Heavy Metal. If I'm able to do it again, I'll definitely do it again. But I think we paid like $400 for 4 days, so it's about $100 a day, and you get 4 stages to go to. So like every 30 minutes, a new heavy metal band is getting swapped out for the next guys. I think there was like 70 bands within that 4 days. But yeah, definitely worth it. So what you got going on with the glasses so far?
I hate it. I've done it like for 45 minutes now. I hate it.
What's the
It
thing
just
you
doesn't
use?
look right. Where
Yeah.
So I tried building it on her actual face and then moving it up. Didn't look right. I tried building it at the spot I need it. Didn't look right. I tried building it above and then moving it over. Doesn't look right. I just can't get the symmetry because you need to get the symmetry right from both sides, and I can't get it right.
Okay.
Because it's a very abnormal shape for the glasses.
Okay, yeah. Or they usually look pretty big on the character, or is this something like you found that's something that you thought of doing for the character?
No, it should look big on the character.
Okay. I mean, like, is this like the glasses that the character like wears at times too?
Yeah, it's a common thing. It's a new thing. I just want to add. Important. Because that just
Even kind of like messing with the
I am
mesh tool.
stressing out about where the nose ends up, but that also makes sense. It's supposed to be. I will say something I hate about Photoshop. It's so bad about the way it snaps. I have to use the arrow keys a lot to get them moved in the right spot.
Oh, okay. I mean, from what I'm seeing right now, it looks about like the right position you need to be at for them. Oh,
Yeah,
no, this
it's
is
just
from
really
what I'm
ugly.
seeing.
Yeah, this is unbelievably ugly, and I don't know how to make it prettier.
I'm trying to think of something as well. Will you be making it like a separate, like almost like a folder base for those sunglasses, or do you need to incorporate it as much as you can?
I mean, she just needs to hold them.
Okay. Yeah, I'm over here trying to brainstorm it as well.
Because the way her face is facing, the lens facing us to the right shorter. Slightly.
Okay. The only thing I can't even do on Discord is zoom in on your screen share. That's the only sucky part about it.
It's just the reason this looks bad. I know the reason this looks bad is because it's not symmetrical, and I don't know how to make it symmetrical. Start over.
Would you think you try to kind of like fit to the size, like her eyes and stuff like that? Have you tried to like mess with that?
It needs to land up here.
Because I had some issues every now and then with certain glasses that certain characters like to wear. So like, have you heard of this game that you'd probably see on social media popping in every now and then? Zenless Zone Zero.
Yeah.
Alright, so for a while, this one character that they dropped, it became like a big thing for a while. The character name, Bernice.
Mm-hmm.
So like she got those like crazy looking sunglasses that reminds me of a TV show called Lagoon Lagoon. I need to look it up.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
It's that one guy that's got those sunglasses like very pointy.
Yeah.
So it kind of reminds me of that. I remember when I was messing around with trying to incorporate her glasses into the picture. The glasses is not an easy thing to do. Sometimes it just like throws you off every now and then, especially on perspective. Do you have a picture you can send me of the character with the glasses?
The sample, it should be in our past discussions, I think.
Oh, that's right. Let's see if it's not gonna black out your screen. Yep, damn it. Okay, take a quick look.
Like this, I don't know, dude. This happens to me way more often than it should, and it's a really frustrating thing I find about this because I watch other people that have done this for as long as I have, and they breeze through stuff like this, and then I struggle through it. That's why I still find that this part of the journey, I try to be as hopeful as I can. I genuinely do feel like I'm crawling in a world of people running a marathon.
Yeah.
And I've been feeling that way for probably the last 4 years of my life. So, but I know if I don't crawl, I'm not going to get anywhere. So I have to keep crawling. And that's how I feel about it.
Yeah. So you get stuck on part of your like career when you're doing like certain things with art. It's just it gets frustrating, but it's like
And like where you want to make it something, more than just a hobby, it's like extra frustrating.
oh yeah, 100%. It's like
So,
feel the same way about streaming in general. It's like it's really hard thing to grow, and it's like when you're not meeting up with the expectations for the stream platforms to get you into more than just a hobby, but for a full-on career, it gets to you. Like it really does. Yeah, I get what you mean. But it's like keep trucking along, and then it's just, I guess you say it's like it's a journey. It's a hard journey, but it's once you figure it out and once you get to the point you keep pushing yourself, it's like it gets easier over time.
yeah, I understand repetitions of things. And that's why I try my best to do it as often as I can. But I don't know. I just get embarrassed sometimes because I just know that somebody that draws something takes they're like, oh, this took 16 hours, right? And I'm like, this took me 72 hours. It's like I cry I genuinely cry sometimes when that happens, dude. Like I genuinely do cry a lot because of that. and when I hear people saying they're slow and they're like, oh, 16 hours later, and I literally have to sit there and I'm like, well, I literally took 10 times longer and my shit's even worse than yours, and so I fucking hate myself, so.
Yeah, it's like, just like how I got started with the artwork, it's like you said, seeing somebody that able to do something really crazy detailed in a short amount of time, and you're struggling to like keep up with his time limit with what you got. It's hard. It's
I will say
it's
though,
like something that I learned like really. It's like something like I, learned like within a couple of years and stuff like it. It took me quite a few years to get to this point, but it's like,
um,
yeah, it's like, but yeah, get ready. You're about ready to say something. Go ahead.
and like I said, I feel like I might be being pessimistic, but I will also say that, like, on the flip side, one of the things I've always kind of tried to be more positive about is like, what was it saying? Like talking to my grandfather, for
Mhm.
example, and it's just like understanding that what he does and how he explains things to me, and there's still things that there's days that he even tells me he's like, yeah, I get frustrated on some things takes that should have taken me like, a few minutes to do, I end up taking, an hour to do. It just happens. And hearing from somebody who has been doing it for 80 years plus,
Yeah,
it helps out a lot with that perspective, and you start understanding that that is just a human thing. Like, you
Mhm.
will get those moments when you just get stuck, and hearing it from somebody who's done it for that long, literally 80 years of experience, it's like,
Yeah, definitely agree with that. It's like it helps on the perspective when you talk to somebody that's been doing it for so many years. It's kind of like my art mentor, bless his soul, no longer with us to, no longer with us now. But he always tells me it's like I know it's a very stressful thing, but it's like when you're even with me doing it for majority of my young life going on to now that I met you, it's like it's sometimes it still feels very overwhelming, especially when you're trying to do something on a set time limit, or trying to learn something new, and you get really frustrated. It's like it's nice to hear from like older artists that kind of like help talk with you on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, miss the old guy. I haven't seen him in about 7 years.
Uh,
He's the guy that taught me how to do pen striping, and I was talking with you before. Is like the pen striping on the BMW motorcycle.
that was at that shop and stuff.
Hmm. Yeah, that was his. You know, he was pretty old at the time. I believe he was like in his mid 70s at the time I first met him, and started working with him on pinstriping. But the guy started losing his eyesight over time, and the last time I met him, he was literally almost blind. So like he still had projects that he was set up to do, and there was a tight deadline. So there's quite a few times to like just hang out with him, helping him out, getting some pinstriping done, whatever areas that he struggled, for him to see. But he loves to do his pinup art, that's for sure. He gets into like the really old school pinup style paintings, like back in like the 50s, 60s era.
Yeah. I mean, I think everything goes back to that era, honestly. So.
Yeah, because like I had this conversation with my mother recently because she's starting to get more involved in what I'm doing, even though like some of the things that the pinup stuff that I do, she may not agree with, but
Hmm.
still supportive. But she asked me about like how people look, how people like view what's a pinup, you know, because the term for it, but it's like a pinup is like no different to like what we have today with women and like the smaller bikinis. That's still considered as a pinup. You just
Yeah.
A pinup is like a, I don't know what you consider like a genre, or no, I don't know what the perfect word
I think
for
it's
it.
I view it as kind of like a cutout. It's like a girl that's like cut out. That's like what I consider a pin up. Like it's something that can be cut out and posted somewhere. So
Yeah,
it's usually like just the body.
yeah, exactly. So it's like it doesn't matter what generation you're in. We there's always a new pinup styling going.
Yeah, I agree.
And it's like I found this old Facebook post years ago, and it made a lot of sense, especially at the time when I started to really get into it. This guy made this little like, I guess they considered it as more like a meme, but it made a lot of sense when it comes to the world of pinups. So it showed like a side by side picture, pretty much similar to both of them. A World War II soldier sitting in his bunker, is sitting in his like you know bunker pretty much, and it's got a picture of a pinup girl on the wall, and you see him just kind of
Yeah,
like chilled looking at the picture. And
yeah.
then when you get in, and then when the other side, it shows like today's pinups. So you got the girls with the video game theme stuff, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's
So
like,
many of my buddies who are vendors that sell to that crowd and stuff like that. Like you see their decals get like, you see them like a lot of places, like in military things nowadays. It's just like instead of being you being the artist to draw it yourself, these guys just buy them and just put them on their stuff now.
yeah,
Essentially.
I find that pretty cool that the military still that allows them to do that. At least that's
Yeah.
one thing that
And it's not just
they
an
let these
American
guys
thing too.
have.
It's an international thing.
Yeah, because like I don't get into politics, but I get into like supporting veterans and stuff like that. My dad, he's a veteran. My uncle,
Yeah. No, I get it.
and
Yeah,
it's
my
like,
family's got veterans in it.
yeah, and it's like it's always the right thing for it don't matter what country you're in, a soldier, it don't matter what country you're in, but a piece of what it's like, a piece of what you love from home, and you're able to bring it with you, at least a hint of it. It's just, it helps them out, you know.
Yeah.
And there's like some people don't really quite see it very much. I
Hmm.
It's one of those kind of topics I used to get into with my father years ago. Because like he learned to do airbrushing when he was in the army,
Oh,
and he used to be his main job is mainly fixing tanks.
okay. I
He
could
was a
see where
mechanic.
what
Yeah,
that's how that could come around.
yeah. It's pretty much the whole reason why he's pretty much one of the reasons why he's in cars so much, because he loves working on tanks too.
Yeah.
Like I went through the basement recently and just kind of helping my folks out, kind of cleaning out the basement. We have to do it
Hmm.
like almost every year because where we're at, it floods bad over here when we get around
Yeah.
springtime.
Uh-huh.
So we help them out, organize the basement, because every now and then they tend to not put everything back on the table and stuff like that. So just kind of like, more stuff being on the ground, but it's like I said with my mother, she can't really do a whole lot bending. So going saw my dad's old military pictures, army pictures, I mean. And I remember one little book because he has to do like guard duty at at his post at the army base that he was in. I think it was like somewhere close to Colorado or something like that. But he had pictures of hedgehogs that were hanging out with him at the post.
That's cool.
So he always has like little photos of like him feeding like marshmallows to hedgehogs. Apparently they like them because they stayed. The pictures, you see him. The earlier picture, you still see him in a ball. And like anytime he picks them up, but you see later pictures, they start becoming more comfortable. So they're not rolled up as much, so you can see their belly.
Yeah.
But he's always been a big animal fan.
Yeah.
So he always had like photos from the army as posts, pretty much hanging out with hedgehogs. I remember he said his sergeant used to get pretty annoyed with him that he's not taking his job seriously.
Oh, because he was just playing with the hedgehog.
Yeah. He's a simple guy. Do they
actually live in hedges?
Huh?
Do hedgehogs actually live in hedges?
Live in what? Sorry, you kind of broke up what you said.
Hedges. Like, like neighborhood hedges, is that where they live in?
More wooded, it's like more like wooded areas, so more in the outskirts.
Oh.
From what I heard for like over in Colorado, because it's very, Colorado, it's very wooded area, especially where his military base is. So you do see them like wandering around in those areas a lot.
Yeah.
But they're nocturnal, so they don't really come out during the day very much. So when you have a pet hedgehog, I originally was going to get one for a pet years ago when I was a kid. But when I learned about hedgehogs, it was a good thing I never did. They're nocturnal, so when they're up, they like to be on the wheel, and they spend hours being on the wheel.
So just in theory, if you stay up majority of the nighttime, would having an animal that's nocturnal not be that big of a deal?
I think you could do it that way. You could just kind of, slowly break them into a different sleep schedule. But
no, I mean like you just adopt their sleep schedule.
Oh yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure there's people who do that. Especially, they're not very quiet in the cage. They're not very quiet.
Yeah, because I'm the type of person who, honestly, if I don't have a lot of other responsibilities, I will stay up till like 4 or 5 in the morning.
Oh yeah, same here.
So I'm like wondering, it's like, oh, that'd be interesting if you could actually keep. Because I've always thought it's funny about cats, because I know some cats are like more like active at night, and I'm just like, would they just be weirded out? Like, if I got a cat, would it just be weirded out that it's like up at the same time that I'm up? Like, it's like, why is human still up?
I'm taking care of my sister's cat because recently she decided to get into some kind of housing program. They don't allow cats, but she don't want to give up for adoption. She's been having her for years. So I ended up, decided to hold on to her and everything. I keep it as my pet now. Yeah. But she likes to hang out at night, late at night, and for a while it's because like with the streaming, a lot of like my video memory is usually very high after recording. So there's a lot of like really funny moments with the cat I wish I would have saved. So like on my streams, I always like having like a webcam playing at the iPad, because like nowadays, like with AI art nowadays, people question if the artwork you're working on is actually a legit piece or an AI
Yeah,
piece. So it's always
yeah.
nice to have a webcam on.
Hmm.
But this is where again where you pretty much this is where it gets going into that direction. So she got into a schedule of my streaming schedules now. So every Tuesday night and Friday nights, she has this little cardboard box. I got her expensive bed. She never touches it. She wants that box.
Yeah,
So
one
I
of
have the box right beside me, and this is where she sits every night. Every Tuesday night and Friday night. So she'll either come on my lap and start flickering out my pen when I draw, making bad corrections. Or, you know, the tail whipping at my face so you can see it on the webcam happening. She's a very dramatic cat, and that's what makes it so funny. It's an orange cat, so it makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah,
They're kind of their
I
own
love
thing.
yeah, I like orange cat.
We over here we have a problem with people dumping cats in our area because we
Yeah, dude, I don't get like when people say they want an animal and then end up just being like, never mind. Makes no sense, dude. I
yeah
get if there's more medical situations, but there's so many people I know that are just like, yeah, do you want the dog? And I'm like, I'm sorry, dude. Like, I wish, but like, you're like probably the eighth person in my life who's asked this. So like, no.
yeah it's like the biggest problem we have in our area. They I'm pretty sure it's like where you're at. You probably guys come across a lot of cats just you know in the wild pretty much.
Oh yeah, the little eco terrorist. As much as I love cats, but that's how I view them.
So our problem is over here is if we find like cats that we try to take to sanctuaries or you know
Mhm.
so we try to get rid of we try to home some cats literally not a couple about 3 weeks ago and it's a big hassle. It's such a hassle to try to rehome a wild cat, especially a kitten.
Yeah.
And the biggest problem is that you have to be if you're say if that one location that's under your zip code is full and they can't accept new ones, you can't go to a different county
Huh.
in our area. You can't rehome cats. You can't take cats to another animal pound or you know stuff like that in a different county in our area because like they just don't accept them because they just so overbearing with cats over here. Or sometimes they even say it to us and it's like, oh, that's a big fuck no.
Yeah.
But I guess what they some of them do, which we are heavily against it. But if they are filled with kettles and there's new animals coming in, what they do is they actually put the animal down to make space.
Oh yeah. It's fucked. But isn't that what kill shelters do? Kind of that
The
long
what?
term. I don't know.
Oh, what's that?
Is that like wrong term? That's like what kill shelters do, right?
Yeah. It's like, damn it. It's like we don't know what to do here. We're trying our best to keep. We are lucky enough to home some kittens, but some of the cats that we got here that you know grew up in our area that you can't really get them. It already took me. It took me the longest time to get this one male that we have here. This dude is massive. You know the term tuxedo cats?
Yeah, I love tuxedo cat.
So we got this one, and he doesn't have teeth. Yeah, he's like so. The first time I moved over here, he is so skittish. You can't get near him. But about 2 years ago, he started coming around, like let him get closer. Now he
Mm,
likes to be on his back and begging for belly rubs and
that's cute.
making biscuits in the air and stuff like that. It's a big male cat. It became like a big baby, not over time. And it's like his age right now. He's not. We try to actually take him in, and it became a big hassle to take care of a cat that's been living outside for the longest time. So we got like a little like nice setup here in our property where it's warm for the cats when it's winter time, nice and cool for the cats when it's winter time. We do take care of them, and we do keep a control on it.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Like every now when you wake up early mornings, you'll see kittens like doing like little two-steps leaps against each other in the
That's
mornings.
cute. Yeah.
It's fun.
Holy sh.
Bless you.
Alright, I think I'm kind of at my limit right now. I don't think I'm going to be able to do the glasses tonight because I just feel like I've tried it too many times tonight and hated myself for it, so I think I'd rather just do it tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, we're in about 3 hours in the stream.
Yeah.
If you're starting to feel burnout, we pretty much meet over the limit I was taking, and that's totally fine. It's kind of fun. It's fun. All right. So
Just these glasses are just they're
yes.
such an odd shape because it's like drawing eyes, right? You know, you got to make the other eye look exactly the same way, and I'm just like, do I want to be cheeky and just do one side and just copy paste it? I gotta figure something.
Yeah, I'm in my own little predicament right now with mine.
What's
Something
going on
about
here?
her face. So I think I need to bring her when the character looking at you, her left side. It looks like I might need to move her eyes a little bit, but something about the way the cheekbone is at is a little bit too low. Because I did this sketch pretty quickly, and usually just go straight to line art. So I kind of like think I need to do a little bit of correcting on stream too. Yeah. Well, I'll
Just
say,
a few more.
huh?
No, I'm just doing a few more fixes, and I'll finalize the hair and the sunglass. It's just frustrating because I know I don't want to do the hands until I know where the sunglasses are, because I know I'm gonna have to move the hands to go where the sunglasses are. Logically, that's just
Okay.
what I would do.
Right. So, you want to go for another like 15 minutes and call
Yeah.
it a night?
I'm down with that. Yeah.
Because like I'm starting to feel kind of burned out. It sounds like you're getting pretty burned out, mainly just with the glasses. Just need to step away from it for a little bit.
Yeah, it is a yeet things to the wall moment at the moment.
It's like that's the thing. I just like try to the idea of doing the whole thing is just kind of like no rush trying to get much done. If you don't get a whole lot done, that's totally fine. It's just the process of making the piece is just it's fun. It's fun to it's from what I see on other streamers that do a lot of art streamers do. They can spend hours on sketching and do a lot of correctings, and it's nice to watch a art stream and just kind of listen on. You just watch, because I like watching a lot of like art streamers on Twitch. One of them being Mikey Mega Mega.
Yeah, I've always watched his tutorials. He's still a staple for me for a lot of art advice.
Yeah, it's like his streams are pretty cool to watch, and it's kind of a lot of the streams that I don't know I don't know, it feels similar to you when you watch some artists, uh, watch other artists draw, don't matter on stream, but YouTube and stuff like that. It's kind of relaxing in
Mhm.
some way.
No, it is. I do like it.
Just kind of almost feeling the idea of like Bob Ross in a way, watching something that's like very nothing crazy, no video game stuff, just kind of just chill.
Hmm. I'm just trying to clean this up, so at least I have a better. That's another issue. I draw so fucking messy, so like I get lost in the lines, and I erase a lot, and I have to erase a lot.
I don't know that your body proportion that you did is just fantastic for a sloppy sketch. That just looks great.
I'm so fucking anal about it. That's why. I hate myself for it, honestly. I wish I could do it quicker, but I also feel like it's why, like, it's because I know logically looking at, like, real life references for photography is just, like, normally things from the top and stuff, it's not maybe supposed to be bigger, but because you're looking from the top, it'll be a little bigger. It's,
Yeah, it gets tricky,
yeah.
especially when you get to the more like from the stomach down. Especially
I
depending
think
how.
I need to do her tummy area is not right to me. I need to fix that more. Her tummy's not right. I know it might. When I mean fix it, I might just fix it when I do shading. That's probably the easiest solution. But
Yeah, because majority of
Is it really-
your detail of that area is mainly going to be doing a lot of coloring and shadowing.
yeah, it's just shadowing to get the. How do I say it? The.
Curves.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I'm like debating. Do I? It's like I feel like I should take anatomy and physiology next semester and get better knowledge and stuff like this.
It's really nice to have. Like when I went to this art college in Columbus, Ohio, they have this
Mhm.
really neat program for high school students that want to get into that art college. I think it's called AI Art College. I mean, it's very simple name, but a lot of big name companies go to that college for students after they graduate. And it's actually legit. You do get a job after leaving that college majority of the time. And so like Disney comes there, a lot of animation companies, Ford.
Okay.
So it's a really nice college. But what they did is they offer like a 3-week program where you stay at the campus. So you like, of course, you will have to pay money to be able to get into the program.
Yeah.
But what's nice is once you're done doing your courses, which you do get grades, they treat it almost like a legit college course. So the grades that you get, it gets transferred over for the time you actually do come there to go there for college. It's like it's a really neat program, and this anatomy class that we go to, I really liked it. I think it's like when you do learn on anatomy, and if you're able to do like one of those kind of like classrooms where they have the model in the middle of the room, and
Oh,
you
that's cool.
do the sketch, whatever, because like you can some places you can choose where you want to sit to do the sketch. But what this professor did, he told us to choose a seat and sketch for 30 minutes, and then rotate to the chair to the left of you.
Okay,
And
so like different.
yeah, different views. So it's like it's really a really nice thing to learn. It's a really interesting thing to get into. And you're in college, right?
Yeah, I'm like in and out right now. I guess you could say.
You do have like an art section at your at the university you go to?
We do, yeah.
Yeah, if you able to find like if your college does like live like live model, I forget what the actual term is for that. But if they do something like that, it is worth the go.
Mm-hmm.
But that college was so expensive to get in, I wasn't able to go, fully.
Yeah.
But the experience coming out of it, it's worth it.
Yeah, let's say God bless. Honestly, the only reason I feel like I can afford school is just because my is really good about funding school. It's like kind of the only reason I think I'm in school right now is because I live in a state that is really good about things like that. So between healthcare and education, they're really good. So
Oh,
I
yeah.
just pay hella taxes. That's my main thing. I just pay hella taxes, but the healthcare and the education pretty good here.
It's like I do miss going to college. It's like UNOH, that program with the art college. It was a great time. I did learn some things out of it. It's like if I'm able to do it again and able to have more funds, somewhere that I could be more comfortable having to spend, I will go back.
As weird as it sounds, have you ever seen like if you potentially could qualify for any grants? Because that was kind of the moment that happened to me. I didn't realize it, but I qualified for grants. And I was like, really? So you're telling me the state is gonna pay for me because I have a grant for something else? And I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know. Maybe you might get lucky and you might be surprised at what you find.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that. Because like not too long ago, I got my student loans pretty much taken care of.
Nice.
So if I'm able to go in is if it's going to be kind of like somewhat easy to do payments on, I'll definitely go. But it's like during the time when I was in UNOH for how much it was, it took me a hot minute to get that shit taken care of. But if I'm able to go back to like our college, have to be like the big name kind of stuff. It's nice to learn when it comes to art and you're trying to get into a career. It is nice to go to a university that does support that does focus on that and not other things.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's like the problem with UNOH. In order to get into what I was going for is get into more like the custom car kind of section, so work on custom interiors and stuff like that. So in order for me to enroll in that class, I had to have advanced algebra and advanced English. Like, very weird, like, choice of other classes that's not really necessary. But it's like because like with me, like I deal with autism, so things are very difficult with me with advanced algebra. So what happened is when I failed a advanced algebra while I was over there, I have to complete it until I go to the get into the other stuff pretty much. So like advancing. So that was the only like drawback as like a person with autism. It's like it's difficult to get into college at times and try to progress into that kind of stuff. Like the little smile too. Kind of give her a little bit like almost like a cat smile to it.
Yeah, that's what I was, where I'm just kind of confused. I'm like, oh, did I fuck the face up? Like, it's like where does the nose position look better?
It's so easy to kind of just one little bit misplacement on the nose.
It's
And
annoying.
like,
Because logically, right now, I'm thinking it's like her eye, right, that I'm circling on the right over here. It should be closer to her nose line.
huh?
At the same time, I feel like when I moved it over closer to it makes no sense moving it like that unless I literally move both nose over.
And it's like it reminds me like a similar theory, like how you do. Have you done like realism, pretty much face portraits and stuff like that before?
Honestly, no.
No. Right. So
Nope.
you know, like if you misplace, like let's say, if you make the nose just a tad bit bigger, it ruins the overall face of a person.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's so sensitive. It's like I used to do some like face portraits for families years ago, and it is one of the most frustrating things to get into. It's like one little, even just a little bit of one little wrinkle, it can really like change it. And it's like it feels very similar how anime is, and with anime, it's anime and manga, I should say in general. It's like one little like correction would just say a mouth, nose, or eyes, especially like placement. It can really change a character's facial features so easily.
And it's like I still always feel like you should just base it off actually what the frame of the face should be. It's just one thing you move, it starts moving everything else, and that's the thing.
Yeah, it's like it happens. Like sometimes you do like a little bit of corrections, and sometimes you don't realize it until you really get into it at times.
Yeah.
Oop. What are you doing, Clip Studio? Okay, Clip Studio, thank you for the little flip out you just did on me.
You used to Photoshop. I'm used to freeze ups and freak outs every 20 minutes, no less.
Oh, I remember those days too well. Every now and then Clip Studio's like that.
Just not that good at
I do notice they do update Photoshop quite a bit, do they add a whole bunch of new stuff over time. And it's like that with Clip Studio. Like you can pay for like, you know, a one-time fee for purchasing the entire software.
Yeah.
But if you want to get future updates, you know, future versions of that specific of Clip Studio, you need to get a update pass, which becomes a subscription.
Yep.
And it's like you're just the time you pay for. I think it's either update pass is actually cheaper to do that way than a subscription, because I think that's more like a year. But for paying for Clip Studio EX, which that gives you everything. And to purchase that for doing a one-time purchase, it's like $260 or something like that. So it's like because like I'm paying $12 a month for keeping the laptop under subscription and the iPad. And it's like, in ways, it's not bad. I can't complain.
Yeah, in comparison to $21 a month, fucking sucks. But like I said, it's for me. It's the whole Lightroom Photoshop thing.
Yeah, and also it's like you're comfortable with the software too. I remember you mentioned before you thought about checking out Clip
I
Studio. But
literally since 2017. So
yeah, it's like if you're
So,
comfortable with the software, it's better just to chill with that software. Once you get used to it, it's not fun trying to get into a different software. It took me a while.
yeah,
to
but
get
I
used to
also
Clip
always
Studio.
do feel like, oh, it's like, greener on the other side kind of deal, so.
Mhm. It's like when we talked about Live 2D earlier. I think
Yeah.
Live 2D is like I think $35 a month to use the Pro version. It's like
And
it's
that's also
pretty big.
too. Yeah.
If we can get less subscriptions, that'd just be fantastic. I think I got like for art related, I got like around 6 subscriptions.
Darn, man, that's a lot more than I thought.
Because like
I keep my subscription very low because
I try to as
I'm
well.
always conscious of stuff like
It's like some softwares that I use and everything. It's like it's a lot more expensive to pay up front versus just paying like $5 or $8 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's like at the end of the day, pretty much, it's like as long as I keep doing sales on prints, keep getting commissions, and put that money towards help pay for those monthly subscriptions they keep doing as like making some income on a monthly basis, that helps.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of subscriptions, but this is the way things are nowadays.
Yeah, it can't really be avoided.
I think the one subscription that I'm not too, it's like it's nice to have, but which I need to use more, use it more. Game Pass from Xbox.
Oh, your game? I mean, that's not that bad, right? That's
It's
like
really
what,
not,
like
especially if you go for
$5 a
the
month,
ultimate. I think it's like
right? Like
$21 a month for ultimate.
really?
Yeah,
I thought it was like all my buddies were telling me it was like $5 or something like that, and I thought it was like, oh, no wonder it's a good deal because we can play like all the new games for like mad cheap.
I
Still,
think
it's 21. It's not bad in comparison to
no, like
actually buying the games.
yeah, it's like games nowadays, especially now that the prices are gonna start going up on games.
Yeah.
And it's like it's not bad. Especially
Yeah.
like I've been waiting for that new Doom game to come out for a while. Yeah, when I found out that it's gonna be on Game Pass on the day it releases, it's like, dude, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like I mainly got it for games like Doom, for instance. After Microsoft bought Bethesda. I don't think I can say the name correctly of the studio that makes Doom. But after they purchased them, and now that Activision is part of Game Pass now with the Call of Duty series, which I think after Black Ops 2, that was like my last brand new, a game, a Call of Duty game that I bought from the store brand new.
Yeah.
The years after that, it's like never really, unless I find like a $20 bin at a Walmart or something like that, I'll take it. But since these games are going to be on Game Pass now, and there's going to be more of them going to be on Game Pass. I mean, it's like what we're talking. It's like $21 is not bad at all. I know you like playing BeamNG.
Yeah.
What other games do you like to play?
I mean, there's Assetto Corsa. I play Assetto Corsa,
Love that game.
but honestly, no, I don't. I've just told myself because I know if I started playing a lot more video games, I'd just get more distracted with other things in my life. So I kind of just leave it to the sim stuff because I just feel like, well, I mean, I've seen it. It has helped out in my actual real life driving, for like hard driving. So I'm just like, oh, muscle memory's nice. So I feel like it's worth it. But before that, the last game I played was the Stalker series. I was playing the
Oh yeah.
Stalker Anomaly, which was like the free to play mod that includes all the old titles together in a quest line stuff.
I remember that game. I remember buddies talking to me about that years ago.
Yeah, it's fun because I've always liked Eastern European themed stuff, so the Stalker series is kind of accumulated to that. So
it's like, I know people it's got like mixed feelings about like Assassin's Creed today, but like
yeah,
the early Assassin's Creed games, when it comes to like, I'm not just a fan of cars, I'm not just a fan of anime and manga. I really like when it comes to like war history and stuff like that, or just history of the Templars and stuff like that, the Vikings.
Oh yeah,
like
I feel that. I'm always I like a lot of the older stuff like that too.
And it's like the early days of like Assassin's Creed. There's always like theories of like, are their organizations kind of like these people, but it's like these get into like conspiracy theories on video game stuff, especially with Assassin's Creed is always interesting. And it's like one of my I think one of my most favorite like Assassin's Creed games that came out is during the Xbox 360 era. Assassin's Creed 3, and it's based on like the war with the Americans and the British.
Oh yeah, no, that was like I think that was one of the last ones I played. I remember that specifically. That
Yeah,
because at that point we all know that like it's more than just like, oh, classic. Because what was the OG game was like medieval period, I think, right?
yeah, and they
Like
have a
medieval
very
Rome.
strong story to it too, with the main
But it
character.
was like about like going back in memories or something like that, I think. Or
Because like on a set, I think you remember it too. It's like on a set at the end of the story on Assassin's Creed 3, they killed off Miles, the main character for the one. And it's like after they killed off the character and stuff like that, the whole direction of Assassin's Creed got really shifted in different directions.
I can imagine because they're like, oh, we're not tied on that, and it's like probably a new writing team came in and stuff, and
Yeah,
so
because like I think the most recent like the more recent like Assassin's Creed game that I bought, it was like it's based on like the Roman times, or I guess say the days of the Spartans, because it's towards the Spartans era kind of stuff. Forget the name of that Assassin's Creed game, but the story feels kind of, because I played the other games beforehand and stuff like that. The stories just don't add up to each game. It's weird, but but I think the only like the thing that takes away I think that makes it still interesting, even the new stuff. They still try to incorporate real life like figures and stuff like that. Not like recently they kind of just kept messing around with real life figures into the most recent one. But something about the way they did the history of the early Assassin's Creed games, I thought is always really interesting. I like my story-driven games big time.
yeah. I play sandbox games because my ugga mind doesn't want to get stressed out. So
Gary's mod for me right there.
yeah.
especially when you get in a room
That's
full of
like-
people building stuff.
Yeah. That's why I like BeamNG, because alongside just the driving aspect, it's a really fun game to build cars in. You can get really specific with things. So it's just really enjoyable, and the physics engine behind it allows for... So it sounds nerdy, but what I'll do is like, what a lot of people forget to do in the game is like, if you do suspension modifications to your car, you're gonna need an alignment, because once you start moving pickup points and the geometry, your whole alignment's all gonna be different. Like, the values are gonna be so different than what you thought they were, and how your wheels are pointing and stuff. So,
Yeah.
in Beam, it simulates all that. So, like, I literally have to put my cars, like, after I build a car, one of the final things before I send it out is, like, I'll do an alignment. I literally put it on an alignment rack and do an alignment on the car.
Yeah, the attention to detail they did when it comes to the physics for that game is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's like, even to like the big name video game the big name racing game genres like Gran Turismo, for instance.
Yeah.
It's like
no,
they
people
can't
get-
even get to that. They can't even get to that point today. It's still not bad, but comparable to like the physics of what they do with BeamNG is just a lot more, to me, a lot more realistic.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, because it's... I think a lot of people forget BeamNG. So there's BeamNG Drive, and then there's actually BeamNG, and BeamNG itself is the actual physics engine that's used, because it's not only used for the video game, it's actually used in a lot of simulation for real life modeling for a lot of scientific things. And like BeamNG is like but BeamNG Drive is kind of like their experiment on turning a lot of that software into a video game, essentially. And obviously, it just being a platform that it was, it just became popular,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? And that's why that's BeamNG Drive is technically their, like, it's a huge demo for the actual program that BeamNG is for the actual physics simulation.
Yeah, I need to see it, get that desktop that I have here to see what it will do to run it. Because, like, I tried out more, like, the more today's games on it, so a good example to really push, I mean, comparable to BeamNG is more likely not close to BeamNG when it comes to, like, the details for the computer to render everything. But, that new Doom game is such a heavy game. Like, I play it on my laptop, and I got like a really good i7.
Yeah.
A really very good graphics card. It's one of, I think it's like one of the Alienware like i5s. I think not i5s, but 15s or something like that. They got a weird name for these things. But just for run Doom on minimum settings, that game is heavy. But for like the details they do for Doom the Dark Ages, for how fast paced it is and how detailed it is, it's a lot for the hardware to render in a short amount of time. So after seeing after playing the game on the desktop here, it really, I think it'll be able to play BeamNG probably minimum settings, or if not a little bit more. I just need to get the money to pay for the game and experiment with that.
Oh yeah, the game's cheap, so I think it's still like $15 or so.
Really? Awesome.
Oh yeah, they've always kept it extremely cheap. Yeah.
That's cool they do that, because a lot of video game companies are not really like that anymore. More of the smaller ones are like that now.
Yeah. Oh shit. Is that the crash?
Well, here in about 5 minutes, and we're gonna end the stream for the night.
Okay.
Pretty much in the 3 hours and 30 minutes mark, pretty much.
Yeah, like I said, I just know that I'm just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over again. With the last, I'm just nope, just do it tomorrow. I'm gonna hate myself. I
Yep.
keep trying again.
It's like you had a long day too, and we've been on here for a while, which it's been fun.
Yeah.
I hope it's been enjoyable for you on stream. Just something new for you, definitely.
It's new. I definitely just wish I got more done,
Yeah.
but
it's like I'm making it open for, like, not be a one-time thing for other people to come in on stream. So if they come in already, I would like it'd be cool to see, like, people make another return on stream too. So if you want to come back again, that is totally fine too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I'm just trying to be open for, like, bringing people in, hanging out, get to know them. It just
Yeah.
this has been pretty interesting for me. This probably is for you on your end. It's something pretty new. Yeah, my hand is pretty much crashed. It's a lot of it's a lot of, like, the long curved strokes of the car is what getting me.
Yeah, you were saying particularly that car.
Curvy cars usually tend to hit harder. Like, from over the years doing a lot of automotive artworks, a lot of the really, like, older vehicles, kind of like what the Shelby Cobras and stuff like that, old race cars, seem like they are, like, one of the more trickier ones to do because of the way they do the body lines. And you have to be very, like, precise how you do the body, because one little movement of, like, a hump of the rear fender, if it's shifted up a little bit more to the side or a little bit too big, it's very noticeable. And same thing with, like, supercars to the hypercar class of cars, with all the little intricate details of the aerodynamics and stuff like that. Like, those are, like, the biggest, like, one of the more difficult, like, kind of cars to really tackle. Not so much for the not so much for the American cars. Montreal are pretty much squared.
Yeah, because it always reminds me of just, like, I guess if the car's harder to do a vinyl wrap on, it's probably harder to draw because it has more angles.
That's a good example. It's hard to wrap. It's more like it's gonna be hard to draw.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time putting it down. I know there's a couple things that I do need to check in on. Is look into the more detailed photos of the inside of the front end of the Cobra, because it's such an opening gap. There's a lot of, like, things going on in there that's pretty hidden, but
Yeah.
you can kind of see the shape, but it's hard to differentiate it. If I can speak.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I understand.
Yeah, I remember that's one of the difficult parts about drawing this vehicle, is that inside that opening of the front, there's so many little details that it's important to get in there, but if you
at the same time, there's too many details. You might just be better off just not doing the details, right? And just
because like there's some important pipes where it's kind of like connected to, which is kind of difficult. It is kind of like difficult if it's another air cooler or something like that. it's the reference I got is not the best.
Mm.
It's one of those kind of things I should have put a little bit more time getting better references. It happens.
Mm.
Because like I have a whole library of like photos for like different brands and stuff like that. And even sometimes even like the more popular cars, sometimes it's difficult to get really good photo references of the vehicle, especially a good quality picture.
Mm.
And that's like one of the more difficult things about doing this as a commission. Sometimes the people, when they're doing a specific car, they have like a specific paint job or a modification. If you don't have good photos of that, you're struggling. All right, I think we're good to go for the night.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm at that
139.
weird point of night where I'm just like, well, I can either try passing out in the next like 30 minutes, or I'm gonna end up staying up till like 5 o'clock. So that means I should go eat something. So
Yeah, try not to push yourself too much, man. Yeah, I
yeah,
appreciate you coming by on stream. This has been a different experience for me, and this is something I'm gonna try out more definitely.
I see what you're talking about. All the details with like all like the oil, probably like the oil cooler and all that stuff in the front, right?
Yep, I don't have fully sketched out. I just realized that
Yeah.
because I was trying to get that really quick, get that done really
Yeah,
quickly.
it happens. I've done
Yeah,
that, and you're just like, "Oh, I'll just do it during the line hour," and then now you're like doing during the line hour, and you're just like, "Well, I'm just doing everything I was supposed to do earlier now. Whatever."
yeah. Whenever I can, if I can get to a spot where I could just do the line art, that's fine. But if we can get
Yeah.
to the more intricate, small details, sometimes it's difficult. More than anything, the
Hmm.
anime stuff is a little bit easier, but something about that face I do need to do some corrections on. Because I started to sketch on Thursday. Because I was been working on the Fort Torino, I got held back pretty bad.
Yeah, you're telling me some of the IRL drawing troubles with that.
It's more anything just kind of like getting control of the hands and have problems with doing the pens and everything.
Yeah.
So I had to. So I pretty much what I did differently this time is I did this idea with the anime OC piece, the marker piece that I did not too long ago, a couple weeks ago probably.
Hmm.
I did the line art and everything on the iPad, and I used my printer to print out the line art on my marker paper.
Yeah, you told me that. Yeah.
So after Tuesday night stream, I decided to try to make something up where the strokes look like pens in a way. Still keep that aspect to the idea, and print it out and do the markers on that.
Gotcha.
It's working just fine. I just need to continue to be more comfortable with the mediums again. It's pretty much been like a practice experience pretty much this week,
Mm.
which I have no problems doing. Sometimes I do that with some artworks on stream. But yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me, HazyHours. I
Yeah, dude.
appreciate it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely something unique, and I'll definitely see what I can do more streams like this in the future here later on this summer. Because it's something I had to plan out kind of far.
Yeah, we did. It was like over a month.
Yeah. So this is something like I have to make plans ahead. So this ain't something I'm gonna be able to do like as a monthly thing. Is whoever that I get a hold of, and if they're interested in figuring out their times, it depends what not just my scheduling, but for the person that invited it, their schedule as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, for the time being, it's gonna be pretty much almost like once in a blue moon, I guess you could say. But I know some people that I do like to invite on stream here, so definitely. Yeah, I appreciate you being the first one to join me on this new adventure on streaming.
Yeah. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's like it's like I said, like this is not like a one-time thing either. With you, if you want to come back again, we definitely can. Because I
Yeah.
do like see it'd be cool to see like say Mars come back just hang out again like this again. You know, it's yeah, it kind of reminds me of the old days in a way.
Yeah, like you said, the group drawings and stuff. So
Yeah. So, thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with me tonight and hanging out with HazyHours as well. Thank you again, and check him out on
yeah.
social media, on his Instagram, X, and his website. Give him a follow. Check out his work, and yeah. Anything you want to say before we end the stream, HazyHours?
Uh, no, I'm chilling, dude. That's yeah, we good.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So, anyways, follow me on social media under Facebook, Instagram, X, and Blue Sky, and MadWorldImages for more updates for future streams, for future updates, which I'm trying to be good on my updates. But hey, you can check out more updates through there. And if you want to see my past streams, check out MadWorldImages on YouTube. But for now, until then, guys, I'll see you guys Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. More likely going to be a VTuber fan art stream. Have a great night, guys.
Yeah, Eastern Standard. Yeah.